QEO. I'm happy for QEO, South Bendigo, to go out as they can against Golden Square and absolutely smash it. And I'll be eating my words. But from what I saw and where I sat, that's the way it is.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think Golden Square will get a big win on the board. I think South will be quite competitive, but I just feel like Golden Square probably got a little bit too much for them at the moment.
We're in here. Oh, but now put me on the spot, because you saw the same game as I did. We looked at each other with our eyebrows raised after that game. So, where are we coming from?
South Bendigo are going to need to get a good start, and they did start well when we played Sandhurst. They were pretty good for the first 10 minutes. South Bendigo, sorry. No, when we called them is what I was meaning to get to here. No. When we went and watched them play here at Fresh, and I looked at footage of Fresh Bendigo, of course, they did actually start positive well. They kicked the first goal of that game, the first 10 minutes they were competitive. And I just felt like they dropped their heads once the side got on top of them, which Sandhurst did. And I feel if they can get on early in the first quarter, they might get a little bit of confidence, because they're a side that really relies on the confidence. But they're going to need Stewart to have a big game. They're going to need Paddo to have a big game. Brock Harvey to kick off. Well, he is playing against his old club as well, so he'll be wanting to put up a point against them. And I'd like to think they're going to be more than competitive in that game, John, but I do think Golden Square a little bit too strong. And Eaglehawk up against Maryborough. Eaglehawk should win that one pretty comfortably, with no disrespect to Maryborough. We're going to take a break here on Footy Fresh, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Still plenty more to come. We're going to catch up with Lockie Sharp after the break, and then the big bounce between the Strathfieldsaye Storm and the Sandhurst Dragons. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Good guys, that was really good. That pre-game was really good. The quality of the sound, it's really good in the car.
This headset's only got one ear working.
Is it? Yeah.
No left ear. But that's all right.
Did you listen to the start of it?
I'm happy with that.
Come across all right?
Yeah. That's what happened to the other fucking one. Which one?
Happy with that start, Norton?
Hey?
Happy with the start?
Yeah.
I think I got everything mentioned on this.
No, perfect, mate.
He was good chat too, actually, Luke.
Yeah, no, I knew it would be.
And that was good of Mark to come chat to that too.
No, but regardless, I'll have to. The thing is, if I give it to Ray, he's going to have it for about a week. So,
where's Raylan?
But I'm happy using it with just the riding it, but somebody else not.
Well, the good news is, in the car, it's sound every headphone. Well, I couldn't hear mine, but I assume it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought Luke was a bit quieter, but I don't reckon he didn't have
come across on the thing, because I didn't load it here.
Oh, yeah, cool.
On the, I actually had to turn it back a little bit.
I reckon we might have a better contest today than we first did.
Yeah, I reckon we'll have a
Gordon back in and Caleb Burns. It'll be interesting to have a look at Caleb and just see, because that one's filled out.
They were never, no one was ever seriously considering Caleb for the mid-season.
I was going to throw you under the bus, and I was thinking remember when you said
I'm happy to do them against Castle Maine.
Yeah.
One of my mates did message me.
I was only trying to get a bit of, like, stimulate a bit of, because you're trying to give them a bit more, not just go nothing.
Trying to keep them positive, you know, Johnny.
Well, players.
Yeah.
I think overall pre-game is pretty good though.
Yeah, it's awesome pre-game. It's much better than this way.
Sharpie should be coming.
Go Hockey! Go!
So next guest, mate, it's Lockie Sharp. He's a legend. Once he's gone and you see him kill out, you go and do whatever you want to do. He'll probably be on it for about
5 He said that he was setting an alarm on his phone, so I told him about 5 past, so I said we're on to go to a break or 2.
Yeah, he loves playing on the radio.
Lots a bit of me time.
We've only got a couple of minutes, so
he's good fella.
Yeah, I got to know him when he was working in the National Bank in Castlemaine.
He pretended to hide over there when he saw me wandering around.
alright, we've got 2 after this.
You know, I don't need to mention the sponsors when we come back.
Not sponsors, no, but just take the time. We've got plenty of time after this.
Experience
Mate, mention the trunk again. Yep. Bendigo trunk centre.
At McDonald Electrical and Air Conditioning, where comfort
Are you
meets
going to try all four
Go
headsets
to
for the shot?
McDonald Electrical Bendigo
Are you going to start with a headset or are you going
Only one local radio station for local footy. Only one local station for
you got a few questions lined up for him, Norm?
Central
You're ready to go.
Victoria. The people out walking know, even bus drivers know, and you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh. Thanks to local footy sponsor, more live Bendigo football. And now, it's time to fire up delicious Don Footy Franks. They're made for the footy. Is Don, is good.
Round 8 action of the Bendigo Football League continues this afternoon. We're here at Tannery Lane. It is the Strathfieldsaye Storm hosting the Sandhurst Dragons, and we're sitting in the back of this magnificent truck from our sponsor at Bendigo Truck Centres in the magnificent sunshine, Norm, and it is beautiful weather. We're looking forward to a really good game. Let's touch on this game a little bit before we catch up with Lockie Sharp as well. Who do you see winning this game and why?
Well, before I came to the ground, Sandhurst by 5 or 6 goals, but I think seeing that Malik Gordon's back and Caleb Ernst's in the Strath side, that's going to strengthen them, 2 bigger bodies up forward, which will help them a fair bit. Shiska's in great form, 7 goals last week, but he'll need plenty more support against a Sandhurst defence, which very rarely changes week in and week out, but if you bring somebody into their back line, they just take over as though they've been there all the time. There'll be an excellent competition in the ruck today. You've got young Charles of the Storm up against Sexton of the Dragons, and big shoes to fill, Sexton having to take over on the Hosking, but from all I've heard from you boys listening to the calls so far this year that I've been working, he's certainly stepped up and done a great job in the ruck. I think that the reason that Sandhurst will get the job done is because there's too many options up forward, and when you look at the paper week in and week out, you look at Sandhurst, you look at Gisborne, our top 2 sides, they've got 7, 8, 9, 10 players sitting in the scoreboard every week. It's very hard to defend. You've got to get the ball off Sandhurst in the midfield, and they've got a very experienced midfield with Lockie Tardrew back there full time this year and running the show in there. Coughlin also in there, and McLean, Ureta, etc. They've got a very good lineup, and it's only a young Strath lineup. That's why I think if Strath get within 4 or 5 goals, they'll have done an excellent job today. If they do any better than that, it'll be an excellent fillip for them and certainly set them in the right path for the second half of the year. But for me, it'll be Sandhurst by about 4 or 5.
Strathfieldsaye would have lost no Myras last week going down to Gisborne. They were unbeaten heading into that game, and they only went down by 20 points, and they were very competitive in that game. And from what I've been told, there was a 10-minute stretch where Gisborne kicked 3 quick ones, so you take that 10 minutes out, and they were quite competitive down there. Many do say Sandhurst and Gisborne are the 2 sides, and then Strathfieldsaye and the Eagle Hawks are that next level down, but what better chance for the Storm to prove themselves at marquee fixture today in a way, in front of a pretty big crowd on a good day.
And as you say, a pretty big crowd. I look around the car park, and except for I came up for the first game Stephen Milne played for Strath back in their premiership year of, I think it was 2019, and the crowd was packed like that then in the car park, and it's about the last time I've seen that many cars in the car park when I've been coming here. So it is a big crowd, but of course, being the reunion of 2014 and 2019, there's plenty of ex-players here, and that'll be great for the Strath Club today and the current boys. And I would say that maybe that's why Lockie hasn't turned up at this stage. He may be in the rooms with the current players. As Luke said, he was going to allow premiership players in just before the game to talk to the boys, but not address the boys.
John, halfway through the final quarter of reserves here, the Storm 2-3-15, Sandhurst 10-11-71. Now, I've had a chance to have a look at Strathfieldsaye this year. You saw them earlier this year. I've seen a fair bit of Sandhurst this year, so I know what Sandhurst are going to bring to the table. It's something that you might think that Strathfieldsaye will bring to the table today, something that's seen them a couple of times earlier this year.
Before I answer that, I want to do half in place.
A little bit, but they didn't really have anything to go off in these games that we saw them play earlier this year, so It's a hard one, but yeah, I certainly do believe that they'll be a much more competitive side against Gold Square. They wouldn't have stood for what they put up a couple of weeks ago. So.
Well, we're going to know in about 2.5 hours' time.
And the other thing is, John, they've had the bye to think about it too, so it'll depend on how the coaches have gone about it and whether they've been able to change the mentality into 2 weeks that they've had off.
They're a better side than what they put up that day.
Yeah, Norm, your point that having a break probably swings me further the other way because I think when you're not playing well, you need continuity
that's true.
to get back into the game. So, as I said, let's see, come 4:30, 5 o'clock today, we're probably going to know earlier. So we're going to probably know halfway.
We might know by quarter time.
Let's hope it's not 5 minutes in. But back to here at Tannery Lane. Look, I reckon Storm, I refuse to be drawn into Storm falling away. The narrative of the off-season, they thought maybe with new coach players going out to other district sides, just a bit of a change and give the handover from the old players to the younger players. I refuse to be brought into it because I've been sucked in before when it comes to the Storm and writing them off. I just think that it's a season already. They've got plenty of the score that they weren't disgraced. They saw them out here against Bendigo. I really like James Shiska, seems to offer a target. But there's one player that I'll say keep your eye on, and that's young Malik Gordon. I reckon that he is that type of player that he just gets bigger and better with confidence. I'm not sure the jury's still out with me when it comes to Caleb Ernst. I haven't seen him put enough games together to, at his size and his weight and his mobility, should be ripping games apart. I haven't seen that yet, whether that's got to do with, I reckon we've seen him injured a couple of times over the last couple of seasons, so that probably worries me a little bit. I really like the form every time I see Patrick Blanford. He really is up and down, he's very mobile, so I'm interested to see. We did speak about him off game, off air, who he might go to, but there's always the option with Blanford. He might want to run free a little bit and run his own way. So looking down the list, I think we've got a lot of positives, and of course Matt Hardy, he's been really good coming back to the club.
Big pre-game still to come, and now joined by Walkie Sharp. Good afternoon to you, Sharpie, and thanks for joining us here on Footy Fresh.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Big day for you ahead by the looks, 2014-2019 Premiership reunion, so it must be wrapped to catch up with a few of the past players over there, a few teammates who obviously celebrate some special occasions.
Yeah, it makes you feel a bit old actually, but no, it's great to see some faces we haven't seen in a while, and a good day for the club. It's the first time it's ever happened, so it's fantastic to see some returning supporters and people that were around the club 10 years ago, so it's been good.
Obviously playing at Bridgewater now, things are sitting pretty nicely out there at the moment, about mid-table, big second half of the year to come for you guys.
Yeah, a lot of growth for us, and we're improving every week, which is fantastic. Some older guys coming in, but our younger list is improving, and I think we've got some upside in the second half of the year, and really looking forward to what that shows for us.
You mentioned that you said you were feeling a bit old. A lot of the past players that are over there aren't actually playing anymore, so a few stories I imagine from some of those guys that aren't playing. They get down and watch you and sort of support you, do they?
Yeah, we have a few mates come out every now and then and tell you what we're doing right and probably wrong at times, which is good, but no, there's some people in there that obviously 10 years ago when we were playing, they idolised and let a lot of things off, and yeah, lucky enough to still be running around, let's put it that way.
Now, I gather that the marks are getting higher and the kicks are getting longer as the day goes on over there, Rocky, with the celebrations. What can you remember about both those grand finals for yourself 10 years on?
Oh, just being, the first opportunity, obviously we lost 13 to Golden Square, but to win 14 meant a lot for the community, not just us, 22 blokes that played, but the people that chose to come into the Bendigo League from the beginning, and those that played that journey all the way through. So that first flag for us was a lot bigger than the guys that played in it. You can see that today by the supporters and people coming back to the club to celebrate. And, it was just a tremendous time for the Strathfieldsaye community. So for me, I was part of that. Obviously, the beginning process and coming back, and to get there in the end and get one is an amazing thing.
Yes, I think because I used to see you a fair bit in those days when you were at the bank in Castle Lane. Michael Pilcher, yourself and Michael, you neck and neck from first game right through, and I think you both played that day, and you both enjoyed it, and it's great to see. Is Michael there today?
I haven't seen him yet. I think he was a late comer today, so there's a few boys that have got obviously other commitments on and footy and whatnot, so there'll be a few more here tonight. But yeah, Bill was one of the stalwarts when we first started, and it's so good to see those guys again. That also we went through some pretty hard times at the start there, and to be able to catch up and celebrate what was, a first for our football club and community is, amazing achievement for us. And looking back, and the guys have said they'll have the game on after the game in the room, so it'll be really good to sit back and watch it because it's something I haven't done yet. So I haven't watched any of them, so it'll be really good to sit back and watch and have a few laughs and enjoy the moments.
No, that's good. You say it's the first one. It'll be the first of many, and you'll enjoy them as they go on and on, because you'll lose track of some of the players over time, and they'll come back. And I know down at my connections at Harcourt, when we get players back, there's some you haven't seen, you mightn't have seen in the 5 or 10 years since the day, and it's great to catch up. You're now coaching. How's the coaching going in at Bridgewater?
Yeah, loving every moment of it, to be honest. Really enjoying being out there, and Rick obviously loved me out there with open arms, and from day one he's been an amazing support. Let me sort of go with things that I think we have really good conversations, and I've learned a lot from him in a short period. So looking forward to continuing that on for the second half of the year, but enjoying our group we've got. It's full of some really good quality, Bendigo quality, which is good, and got some really good young guys to put through, so it's a really good mix at the moment.
Back here at Strathfieldsaye Storm, what are young players now involved in the club? What in particular that you're really excited to watch play today? And Oliver also mentioned you know a little bit about him, obviously played with him last year. That's what you're going to bring to the side.
It's amazing when you go away for like 6 months and come and see some of these guys and the work they put in. A couple of these guys that come to the league look in really good shape. Young Jed Daniels is making his debut today. I think he's been a Strathfield for a few years, and really good one. I think he probably could have debuted early days and played some senior footy with us when he was really young. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. But the Gillies, Caleb's another one too. These guys have put in the work and become really good senior footballers. They have Sheen back at the club, Sheen brothers back at the club, turning faces, which is good. So it's great to see Strathfield playing with a young list and really taking up some of these sides. And who knows, on that day they can win a game, any game they play. So hopefully that's the day. No doubt.
Luke did mention he was going to get a couple of boys in pre-game to have a chat. Did you get in there and have a chat to the group before the game today at all?
I chatted
give
to
a bit of a rev up.
Yeah, not me. There's a few of the older ones in there that have probably been out a little bit longer than I have, but I got a real welcome when I come and see some of the returning faces. It's really good to see the Riley Wilsons and these kids that I've seen for a long time. I think some of the photos that they've put up with Riley at 14 when we first won this flag we're celebrating today, but it's great to see those kids now playing senior footy and future leaders of this football club, which is fantastic.
Of the 2014-2019 sides, who are the larrikins of those sides? The ones that you just absolutely love playing with? Not so much they weren't the greatest footballer, but they were just good blokes to be around. Real larrikins of the club, and I'm sure those guys will be here celebrating today. Give us a mention.
Geez, 14, I think you can really go with anybody. Cal Smith, it's great to see him. I haven't seen him for a while, so distance obviously separates him from the field, so great to see him today. But 19, Jack Nayland, you can't go past him. I've taken him out to Bridgewater. We might have thought too many things back in the day and how to celebrate things, but no doubt you'll hear him later having a good time.
Lockie Sharp, thanks for joining us. It's been great to hear from you, and obviously terrific for you to be able to celebrate those moments from 2014 and 29, and we hope you'll enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully the Storm go well for you today.
Thanks guys, appreciate it.
That was Lockie Sharp, past player, absolute superstar of the competition, multiple time 100 goal kicker on the competition as well, so absolutely fantastic to hear from him. And even though he's no longer at the Strathfieldsaye Storm, Norm, he is a much loved member of this club, and he always will be.
Well, of course he will, See, they're back there together. They're having the first of what will be many reunions for them, and maybe I'll do what Harcourt did 2 years ago and have a 50-year anniversary down the track and 50-year reunion, and that was an excellent day for the Harcourt Football Club.
It's a long time away, Norm. They're only
2 going down to Sandhurst, 11-13-79 as both teams run out onto the ground. Johnny, a magnificent crowd. The car park over there is looking absolutely bumper to bumper.
It is, and yeah, good atmosphere. I went for a bit of a walk and got myself a hot dog before then, Cameron, and geez, the line in the canteen. That's the telltale sign, isn't it? When you look at the line, you think, I can't get myself a hot dog because there's so many people here. Now we're seeing a very special moment here.
I heard you just walk to the front and said, you know who I am.
Do you know who I am? Yeah, and they said, well, you don't look anything like Cam Power, do you?
Bloody. So a late change for Sandhurst as well. I see Darcy Mills, who was standing just in front of us actually. He was a late out, so he goes out for Sandhurst and he'll be replaced by Tanner Nally.
So we're just going to have a minute's silence. Both sides have come together with the umpires and the crowd. Let's come together for a minute's silence for Danny Ellis.
A minute's silence there from the Strathfieldsaye Storm and the Sandhurst Football Club for the passing of Sandhurst life member Danny Ellis. Absolutely magnificent gesture of the Strathfieldsaye Storm. It is the Strathfieldsaye Storm's home game today, and the fact that they've showed respect for something that is often much bigger than football, Norm, in the passing of Danny Ellis, which we touched on a fair bit in the pre-game. So great gesture from both clubs there for the passing of life member Danny Ellis.
Yes, it is, Cam, and I think that the Storm have got black armbands too. I believe that would be for Danny as well. So it's a credit to the Storm in their professionality that they're able to do that. And as I said earlier, if there is a situation like that anywhere, it shouldn't matter who the player is. The club, whether it be the home or the away club, should be able to have that minute's silence. I know at Harcourt, if any club comes to us, you say, right, yes, we're having a minute's silence. And if we've got somebody that's passed, then we go to other clubs and say, can we have a minute's silence? And they're always accommodating of that, and it's great to see.
Absolutely. They're a terrifically well-run club, the Strathfieldsaye Storm, one of the younger clubs in the competition, and they're going to bring some excitement today to the Strathfieldsaye community, who have really came out in numbers. We've got a terrific spot to call from here, thanks to our truck sponsor, Bendigo Truck Centre, who have provided with this truck, which is positioned right behind the bench on the wing here at Strathfieldsaye. Who are we tipping today, Norm? We've obviously dissected the game a bit, but in a couple of words or less, who wins and why?
Sandhurst, because they've got a better mix up forward for mine at this stage of the season than what Strath are. Although if Gordon and Ernst can both hit the scoreboard along with Siska, then who knows? Strath might be able to match them. But I just think that with the likes of Max Stead up there, you've got Wright, you've got Tardrew drifting down from the centre, Coughlin up there, Wharton. Plenty of names of plenty of people that can kick goals. Of course, Nick Stagg up there always knows how to snag a goal too. So, yeah, especially with Max Stead and Wright, they've got two good tall key forwards that they're able to play through. And they've been known to throw Bryce Curnow down to stretch oppositions and give them another tall forward. So for me, just a little bit more versatility. Sandhurst, they're on top of the ladder at present for a reason, and I think that it won't be easy for them today. I reckon 4 to 5 goals, but yes, Sandhurst.
The toss of the coin has been done. Lockie Tardew of Sandhurst winning the toss and is kicking to the left end of your radio dial or your screen. If I'm going with the Bendigo end and the Strathfieldsaye end of the right of screen, John. Who wins and why?
Sheepwash Creek.
Sheepwash Creek.
Don't say that fast. A number of times we get mixed up, Cam. Look, I'm expecting a very competitive Strathfieldsaye Storm. At home, you never know that they might pinch it, but the way Sandhurst have been playing, you just really can't go past them. They've been favourite trotting word go for the premiership this year, and nothing has changed in my mind. Norm, I'll be interested to see how Oliver Morris comes into Sandhurst today. He's a player that I think he played the first couple of games, might have only been in the under-18s for Sandhurst. He's been playing with the Pioneers, so they've brought him in. And also the debutant, we learnt that from Lockie Sharp, young Jed Daniels. I just had a look at him through the binoculars. There's not much of him, but he's got that blonde, washed look through his hair. He looks like he might be a shorter, faster type, likely player. So let's see what he brings to the table.
I'm looking forward to watching James Shishka today, Norm, on the back of 7 goals against Gisborne last week. If he brings that today, who knows, he might be able to get his side over the line.
Yes, well, he kept them in the game last week for sure with his 7 goals. But, as I said earlier, when you look at your Gisbornes and your Sandhurst, every week they've got 7, 8, 9, 10 goal kickers. And when you look at Storm and the other sides, the Eagle Hawks, the Golden Squares, they're only getting 3 and 4, maybe 5 goal kickers. And that's where they need the midfield to step up and get a few goals on the back of their work through the midfield, just to be able to match Sandhurst in that capacity throughout the game.
Well, magnificent day for footy. Magnificent crowd in here. I'm going to take Sandhurst, Norm. I reckon that the Dragons are unbeaten on the year. They just seem to be a little bit stronger in key areas of the ground, such as midfielders and key options in the forward line. Interesting to note, though, Bryce Curnow is going to start down in the back line for the Sandhurst Dragons. Your umpires this afternoon is Andrew Snell, the ever-experienced John Norton, and Steve Christensen as the players make their way towards the bench in what should be a magnificent game of footy here at Tannery Lane in Strathfieldsaye. It is round 8 of the Bendigo Footy League. Umpire John Norton has the ball in the middle of the ground. He'll loft it up to get us underway, and start the contest will be John Hunter.
Well, it looks like Ben Lester is going to start in the ruck for the Storm. He's got a little bit of height against him. He'll be up against Sexton. Sexton of the Dragons won the tap. Just a little bit of nice bit of ball there by the Storm. It was Gill who spread it wide to a teammate who will now send it long to left half forward. Stormer in attack. Jake McLean getting on the end of a handball. He handballed it there to Tardew. Tardew went back to McLean. McLean dumps it down the line, and it bounces over the boundary line, across half forward, and it'll be balling. Out of bounds on the full. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So the Storm will bring it back into play. It'll go to Clossy, who will switch across the ground to Ratcliffe, who comes down the line into the hands of Matt Harvey. So Harvey's got it, centre wing position. Broadcast side here at the Strathfieldsaye Tannery Lane. Sends the kick down the line to a contest. Shishka got worked under it. Wharton goes back for the Dragons. Hard up against the boundary line. Spills out. Ireland got it off to Connick. Then Connick fed it forward to the run of Smith. Smith's handball. Eventually they work it forward. He was dealt hard, was free. He bounced back up nicely. Clossy turned it over for the Storm. Short ball to Blanford. Blanford hits it. Bounces off Wilson's chest. Connick takes it. Taken over the boundary line. And Connick was taken without the ball by Riley Wilson. He's going to receive himself a free kick right in front of our broadcast position here. Hot footy early, though.
And young Charlie King has got the job on Fergus Green, so interesting for the young fella how he goes.
Connick short pass forward but to Stagg. Stagg now was touched off the boot, smothered ball across half forward for the Dragons. Connick ran on, handball. Back to Stagg, who's on hands and knees, to Wharton. He gets collared, really nice tackling and good strong pressure by the Storm. Pack form stoppage. And across the left half forward to the Sheepwash Creek end. We will have a ball up. No score on the board. 1.5 minutes gone. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So it was Lester that got his hands on it for the Storm. It comes to Gill in the orange boots. Short pass went down the line looking for Zach Charles. But a good defensive fist in from behind for the Dragons came from Free. The two number 9s going at each other this afternoon. In Hamish Free, Harrison Free, and Zach Charles. Umpire throws the ball back into play. Sexton won it down. Clossy went through for the Storm. Fired a handball forward. No one in particular. Wilson went through, went to ground. Ball spilled out. Free tried to take it, but he was taken in a strong tackle by the Storm. Zach Charles. Hot tackling early from both sides right in front of our broadcast position. 2 minutes into this one. No score as of yet.
Yes, it's been a tight start, very physical from both sides, and there's been no space for anybody to work in.
Ben Lester tapped it down, but it ended up with Smith, and then Hood getting involved, but caused a turnover. And the Storm, it was a poor kick. It was a release by Blanford, and he puts it out of bounds on the full. So Connick of the Dragons with the free kick. Right in front of us, standing next to his old man who's the coach, whispering in his ear. Connick now, 35-metre ball. It was low, looking for Curnow. Picked up by Stagg, who roved it well. He's got involved early. Inside forward 50 now. Running onto the football will be Featherby for the Storm. But it's all with the Dragons. McLean got on the end of a handball. Gave it straight to Fergus Green, who ran into an open goal and put the first one on the board for the afternoon to the Sheepwash Creek end. 1 goal straight. I got that out, Cam. 1 goal straight, 6. The Storm yet to score. We've gone a couple of minutes into this opening for... opening term score sponsor is Don is Good. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, a good passage of play by Sandhurst then, but one of the intricacies of football that we love is the ball doesn't bounce right. It bounced up between the two Strath players and went to the side, straight into the hands of McLean, and from then, excellent bit of handball and a lovely goal by Fergus Green.
Ball went up in the middle. Tardew tried to emerge with it, but he was taken straight away, so we'll do it all again. Centre of the ground here. Round 8 action of the Bendigo Footy League. Strathfieldsaye and Sandhurst. One down for the Storm. Tracking hard will be Stevens. Bills out wide. They'll work it down the far wing, the Storm. They'll chip inside forward 50, or just short of forward 50. Taking the mark out there was Charles. He'll wheel around onto the right, send it inside forward 50. Malik Gordon was caught behind. Storm still working out. Comes out to Gill. Gill will snap on the right. He goes goalward. Lockie Gill! A snap around the body from 40 out, and he puts it through for the Storm's first. And they get the reply. It's 1 goal apiece, early stages of this one. Score sponsor, JB Rees Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
And that was a nerve settler for young Jed Daniels. It was Daniels that ran through the pack then, grabbed the ball. Lovely handball over the top to Gill, and Gill made no mistake. So the young fella, he's had his first touch, and what a great touch it was.
Good response, Norm.
Excellent response, and a nerve settler for young Daniels, as I said.
So we're 5 minutes into this opening term at Tannery Lane. Ben Lester in the ruck. He'll be up against Sexton of the Dragons. Lester won it on that occasion. Hurry kick out of the pack by Harvey of the Storm. Sends the Storm forward. Bouncing footy. Jake McLean tracks the ball towards the boundary line. Ran into Island of the Dragons. Then they were good enough. They shared it around, and on the end of a handball was Coughlin. Coughlin short pass to Smith. Smith of the Dragons, short pass forward, hits up Hood to a running McLean by hand, to a running Stagg by hand, to a running Wharton by hand. They're lining up here. Now it's Paul Pratt inside forward 50. A big high fly by Charles Dole of the Storm. A hurried kick inside forward 50 for the Dragons. It was Curnow. Goes to Connick. Connick goes around the body, bouncing footy, and he slotted it for a goal. Yeah, he got it through. That was a major. Good build-up. So the Dragons, nice bit of play. They go to 2 goals straight, 6 to 1 goal straight, 12 rather. 2 goals straight, 12 to 1 goal straight, 6. Score sponsor, JB Rees Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, if those two passages of play, firstly by the Storm for their goal and then by Sandhurst for theirs, are any indication of what we're going to see today, we're certainly, the big crowd's certainly in for a great game of football between two hard-running sides.
Hot footy early. Back in the middle we go. Sexton got first hands on it for the Dragons. Sent it down to Wilson, who was taken in the tackle straight away. Umpire Norton wastes no time balling it up. Spilling out. Sheehan trying to go through for the Storm. Ball spills to the bottom of the pack again. Umpire Norton again crosses his arms and will go again. Middle of the ground here. Tannery Lane. Round 8 footy action. One down for the Storm by Leicester, who's doing the ruck work early. Again, it spills to the bottom, and we'll have another ball up, Johnny.
Up they go in the ruck. It's another stoppage. Leicester tapped it straight to the opposition, though. He went to Tardrew. Tardrew, poor kick, and across half back will be Blandford of the Storm. Spreads it wide to a leading Abe Sheen wearing the 00 on the long sleeves. Short pass, it's a bullet. Good pass it was across half forward. Receiving the footy was Gill. Gill now shallow inside forward 50. He hits Chiska, who led strong and hard and directly in front from 45. We'll line them up.
Yes, good passage of play by Storm then. We've seen it first one side, then the other. And Chiska, they left the gap for him and he ran straight into it. A lovely kick.
To the club room's end. Right on the chalk mark of 50. Won't make the distance. Off hands. Minor score. Good defensive punch by the Dragon. Storm 117. Sandhurst 2 goals 12. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, both sides in this early part of the game have been able to create space for their key forwards up forward. They've been able to run the ball into it and give their key forwards a chance.
It'll be Harrison free to bring the ball back into play. Chips it short to Oscar Perez. Takes the mark, Oscar Perez. In defence will come down the broadcast wing for Curnow. Got a fly, couldn't quite take the mark. Ratcliffe managed to put some pressure on. Tardrew fed out the handball forward. Stagg goes through. He was met in a crunching tackle. Now the Storm can turn it over. Riemann has got it. Firing through. No one able to really take much of a clean possession there. And as a result, umpire said throw. Play on. Free kick goes the way of the Storm. They'll chip it short and they'll find in the hands of Bo Stevens. Stevens plays on. Wheels around on the right foot. Sends it down towards Malik Gordon, who got a fly. Couldn't quite take the mark. Defensive pressure came from Nally. Delayed inclusion. And they'll be happy to see this one over the boundary line. It's hit the point post, but a free kick's been pulled out for holding the ball against Gordon. It'll be a Storm free kick. They'll chip it short to Harrison Free.
Free now of the Dragons. Will spread it wide to the opposite back pocket. Finds Jake McLean. McLean of the Dragons. Short pass forward. Wharton receives. Alex Wharton plays on for the Dragons. Down the line. Finds Maxted. Takes a mark on the outer side wing. They're moving it nicely on that outer side by foot and by hand, the Dragons. Wharton receives. Handball forward to McLean. He's tackled from behind by Daniels of the Storm and will get a free kick on the outer side wing.
So the first gamer gets involved early with a nice holding the ball free kick. Chips it forward. Now they'll go inside forward 50. It's going to be Bodie Stevens. Tried to use his body. Couldn't quite take it. Clossey's there. But here comes Dayton Ureta, the captain of the Bendigo Pioneers. He fires the handball to Wharton. Then Wharton will send it out wide. And now Harrison Free, who's getting a lot of possession early in this one. Tried to go a little short pass into the hands of Hood. Hood then tried to fend off the tackle. Handball forward, but it's all Storm there. It'll be turned over. I'll try and go through. Eventually it spills back though. Ureta gets it. Sends a high ball inside forward 50. And Fergus Green read the flight of the ball nicely. He wheels around on the right. Goes goalwards. And he puts it through for a minor score. 2-1-13. The Storm. 1-1. The Dragons. 1-1-7. The Storm. 10 minutes gone. In the opening quarter, Footy Fresh lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So Ernst for the Storm will play on quickly from full back, kicks it in to the outer side. He hits up, must have a jumper change on there, and number 30 has appeared for the Storm. Ben Lester getting involved. Handballs to Ratcliffe. The co-skipper goes to the outer side. So just slowing down the tempo a little bit here, the Storm. Sheen. This is Caleb Sheen. He goes long. Across half forward. It was a good hit. Hits up Abe Sheen. Now inboard to Blandford. Blandford just tried to go a little bit straighter, more corridor. Still a long way from home. He's standing on the outer side wing. Now he plays on. He'll go long. It'll go inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Big pack forms. It spills, but a hurried kick out of the pack. It was a nice bit of work by Harrison Free.
They work it forward. Green's there. Got it off to Maxted. Maxted fed his way through trouble and just bangs it long. It's going to bounce, but nowhere near the goals, and it's going to go out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. We mentioned multiple times last week it might have been coming back the way of the Strathfieldsaye Storm for insufficient intent if we were playing AFL that one. Johnny just banged it in there. There was no one home. But as a result, they'll get a ball in inside forward 50.
Yes, it was an insufficient attempt, but to his credit, he was just getting the play in Sandhurst into attack.
So they'll respond here across half back. The Storm, they'll work it through the middle, fumbling footy, but handball ends up with Bode Stevens. Stevens short pass, but intercepted by Ireland. The ball spills into the middle of Tannery Lane here. Contest form stoppage. And we'll have a ball up at Wade Street, Norm, 1 point margin. 9 playing 8. It's the Bloods over the Dogs. And out at Camp Reserve, it's 12 playing 13. 1 point margin there. It's Gisborne leading. Early days, of course, in the opening term. So we've got a free kick here. It'll go to the Storm. Clossy is in the centre. Spreads wide. Finds Jones. Jones of the Storm. Further wide. Hits James. James back inboard. Corridor Jones. Haven't gone forward a lot at all here in this little bit of play. Now he goes into the pocket. It's a good, strong mark that's been taken. Looks like Malik Gordon's got his hands on the footy. It is strong contested grab, and he'll line them up and pretty tight angle, Norm.
Yes, it was a good lead and a good jump by Malik Gordon there. We know that he's capable of doing this, and he gave the Sandhurst opposition no chance of grabbing it because he took the ball at the highest point as he took the mark.
So, Malik Gordon with the footy. He's standing at 50, in fact. Right in front of the Bendigo Truck Centre sign, who are sponsoring our broadcast position in this magnificent truck here at Tannery Lane. Malik Gordon, it's a long, high ball. It'll go across the face of goal, then just manages to sneak in a minor score. 13 playing 8. Sandhurst lead halfway through this opening term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So this time it'll be Wharton to bring the ball back into play. He wastes no time as he plays on out of the square. High kick down the far wing. Maxted was there, couldn't take it. Spilt down to Ureta. Ureta fed it forward. Wilkinson's over there for the Dragons, trying to lend a hand. They go into the middle and they turn it over. The Storm have now got it through Sheehan. They go backwards to try and go forward, but it might work out okay as it spills out here to Mulquinny. He fed off the handball. High ball inside forward 50. They go. Shishka got the fly. Couldn't quite take the mark. Good defensive press came there from Liam Island, and it goes over the boundary line for a boundary throwing it right hand forward pocket, shooting towards the Tannery Lane end of the ground. The Strathfieldsaye Storm, they trailed this one by 5 points early stages of the first quarter. Midway point.
The boundary umpire stands on the arc of 50 right in front of the club rooms. He'll throw it in. What a nice looking ball it is too. Up they go in the ruck. It'll be Abe Sheen that jumped high and jumped early and did the ruck work from behind. He must have nominated himself. And they force it towards the boundary line, and we'll have another ball in. Still 52 metres out from goal in front of that club rooms camp.
Yes, he roved his own football too, John, which is quality of a good ruckman.
So Maxted going into the ruck against Leicester. We'll call it a dead heat. Leicester then fed the handball off to Mulquinny, who fired a high ball inside forward 50. Ureta was there for the Dragons. Connick then went through in the middle where the Stormer got the numbers though, but they're a little bit fumbly, which allowed Stagg to get it. Fired out a handball forward to Wilkinson. Going through will be Wharton, who might have received himself a free kick.
Curnow.
It's going to be Curnow that's going to receive the free kick.
Yeah, thrown to the ground after he'd knocked the ball on.
Curnow and Wharton, the two bald heads out there. As he fires off the handball now, Curnow. It'll be sent inside forward 50 from Cooper Smith, and it'll be marked by Lockie Hood. But he is almost on the paint at 50. He will be when he releases the kick. He'll have to kick this one all of 50 metres. As I mentioned, he's almost directly in front, slightly into the left-hand side. Shooting towards the Sheepwash Creek end of the ground here, which is the left-hand side.
Very good.
I'm just waiting for someone to get that one wrong today, John. But it'll be a chance here.
It'll be you for sure.
For Lockie Hood to increase the Dragons' lead. 16 minutes into the first quarter. It was a good build-up of play to get it to him. He'll come in, release right on the paint of 50. It starts right. He's got the distance okay. No, just short and didn't quite carry. In fact, the Storm are happy to keep that one into play, and eventually they've merged out of there. I thought for sure the umpire was about to cross his arms, but it's worked out of there out of defence. Gill's got it, fires a handball forward. Just didn't quite take any clean possession. Wilson went through for the Storm, went looking for Clossy, missed him. It's taken away. Dragons get a shot on goal, which is going to come here from Oliver Morris. Right to the line. Might be marked in the goal square. It is. And it is Fergus Green, who's already got one today, and he'll go back and kick goal number 2. Ominous signs early for Big Ferg. He's got 2 goals in the quarter. Good assist from Morris. It's 3-1-19 the Storm, 1-2-8. 3-1-19 the Dragons, 1-2-8 the Strathfieldsaye Storm. 17 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Footy Fresh lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor is Don is good. Here's Norm Jenkins.
Yes, and unfortunate for an umpire there, backing backwards. He tumbled over in that passage of play just to get out of the way of the players. But excellent work by young Morris there. It was a lovely kick forward and then a great mark in the goal square by Fergus Green. And Fergus looks as though he's on today. It'll be interesting to see how long before he gets a new opponent.
He loves being one-on-one too. That's where he got...
That's right, and he's got the strength and he's got the ability to do it. He's been there, done that at a higher level, and it makes it a lot easier when you drop back.
Good contest here at Tannery Lane. The Storm are right in this contest, albeit that Sandhurst got the last goal. It will be Charles doing the ruck work for the Storm. Moves to the outer side. Charles getting involved again. He handballed it to Clossy. Clossy goes inside forward 50 now. Outer side. Picked up by Coughlin. Coughlin handball back to Tardrew. Back to Coughlin by hand. Dragon sharing it around. They go to the outer side wing. Nice bit of work over the back of the pack. Couldn't quite mark it. Was Featherby of the Storm. Now it is the Dragons. Maxted. Handball to Smith. They're moving through Connick. Connick handball forward. It was rough to Morris. Just causes a contest. Lucky probably to get a free kick, and Morris for the Dragons gets one.
So Morris wastes no time. Wheeling the ball. It'll go right to the paint of 50. Kerno there. Spilt the back. Charles stole for the Storm. Managed to fire through. Got it up to a teammate going through who might have just been collected high. And he'll receive himself a free kick across half back for the Strathfieldsaye Storm is Rima.
It's Reinheimer, I reckon it might be.
Reinheimer. He chips it
you
short.
You need to extend it probably a little bit there, Cam.
Malik got it. Now they send it wide, the Dragons. It'll come out, the Storm. It'll come out to Lockie Gill. So Gill handballs over the top to the run. Then he'll get it back. The 1-2 came from Matt Harvey. Kick down the line, goes in the direction of a teammate there. Chasing hard will be Jed Daniels. And
it's out.
No, it was touch
by an inch, I reckon you're right, no.
I was out on the full.
So
the umpire
it'll be a boundary throw him right in front of our broadcast position.
Up they go in the ruck now. It'll be Sexton. He's up against Charles of the Storm. He's a big lad, Charles. As the Storm will kick it forward, ends up with Clossy, the coast skipper. Clossy now. Shallow inside forward 50. Put it corridor. Running. I'm not sure whether that was his target, but it ended up all right on Mulquinny's chest and directly in front. Probably too far out to score, and he senses it. He spreads it wide, and he gives it to his teammate that's sitting in the opposite forward pocket. Just pick up who it is for you.
Is it young Jed Daniels? No, he's up in the goal square.
I reckon it might be Carson James with the footy. See how good I am. Let's see how good he is, Norm. He's kicking towards goal. To Tannery Lane end. He goes long and high and kicks a goal, and it is Carson James. What a beautiful kick off the boot it was. So that even sings up just a little bit here at Tannery Lane. We go to 2-2-14 the Storm. 3-1-19 the Dragons. We're almost in red time here at Tannery Lane. Score sponsor is Don is good. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, whether it was meant for Mulquinny or not, it was a lovely centering kick. He ran onto it, realised that he was too far out and found a teammate in James all on his own, and he made no mistake with the pressure on him.
I got it right, by the way, Norm.
You did, yes.
Sexton won it down. Tarju was in there. Firing through for the Storm will be Stevens. He might have disposed of the ball incorrectly. He did. Dragons get quick ball through Tarju. Waste no time. Sends it towards centre half forward. Hood was there. Managed to shrug off his opponent, and I think he might have... There was a little bit of holding from both sides, I reckon, there, so you're probably right. They probably could let it go. Storm will receive the free kick across half back, but the kick was not great. Good defensive pressure there for the Dragons. It spills out. Calls the balls again. Now the Storm can look to come through the middle of the ground. No one able to really take any clean possession, and that had to be holding the ball. I think it was Charlie King streaming off the half back line. He was dispersed, and it's going to be a free kick to Harrison Free.
He plays on quickly and he'll send it inside forward 50. Looking for Green. Hands on the footy, but at the back of the pack defensively was Mulquinny. He gave it to Ratcliffe under pressure. Handballs to Wilson. Wilson stepped over the line and it's out of bounds. Little bit of nervousness and panic there in the back half then for the Storm, Norm.
There was a little bit there, John, but to their credit, they kept control of the football and almost ran it out of defence. It's good for Sandhurst now. It's a throw-in, it's a stoppage, and an excellent chance for Sandhurst to get another score on the board.
Fergus Green dropped a mark he ordinarily would
Should
have
have
taken.
yeah.
So they probably let off the hook a little bit here, the Storm. The umpire will throw it in. Inside forward 50. Dragons in attack. Ball spills. Contest. Smith picks it up, gives it to Jake McLean by hand. McLean around the body for the Dragons. Right on the point line, if that makes sense. So he's on a pretty tight angle, is Fergus Green. And Look will step around, go around the corner on the left and kicks a goal. That was a classic AFL goal from a player that's been in the game recently, went round the corner. So that extends the lead right on almost quarter time here at Tannery Lane. Score sponsor is Don is Good. That's his third. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. The score is 4-1-25, playing 2-2-14, and the Dragons have just got hold of this in the last minute.
Yes, they've started to take control of the football, and they're winning more of the 50-50 possessions in the last few minutes. And when they get the ball out and they move it, they look very good as they move the ball by hand and foot with precision.
Caleb Ernst coming on the ground. He's streaming forward. He's going to go straight down and match up on Fergus Green. So that should be a fascinating matchup to watch this afternoon as we go back in the middle. Leicester got it. It'll be fired forward for the Storm. Sheehan dropped it off his chest, but he had time to recover. Couldn't quite take any clean possession. Going through for the Dragons will be free, and he'll be tackled straight away. And we'll have a ball up. There's a little bit of push and shove going out there. A little bit of feeling in this one at the moment. Abe Sheehan and Nick Stagg letting each other be known.
And all Staggy did was pull the Strath player onto his poor old teammate on the ground.
Leicester got it. Wilson somehow found way through. Banged the forward kick inside forward 50. No mark taken for the Dragons, which was playing in front was Nally. It was the late inclusion. Storm player was taken down in a dangerous tackle. Advantage is going to be paid, and a shot on goal for Matt Harvey will result in a sausage roll. So the Strathfieldsaye Storm get their third goal. And it is Matt Harvey who took the advantage nicely. The Storm moved to 3-2-20. And every time you mention, Johnny, that the Dragons look like they're just going to get away, the Storm get one to keep themselves well in this contest. It's a good game of footy here. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers. The Dragons 4-1-25, leading by 5 points, 3-2-20 the Storm.
Yes, you can see why these two teams sit 1 and 3 on the ladder at this stage of the year. It's quality football between both sides. There's pressure, but they're both able to get it out, beat that pressure and move the ball forward quick.
At the Camp Reserve, it's the Bulldogs, Gisborne by 2 points over the Magpies. So we've got a contest down at the Camp Reserve, as at Wade Street as well. 1 point margin. It's Golden Square over the Bloods. Here at Tannery Lane, the Storm winning out of the middle. The target was Shishka. He's lurking in the square as Wharton tracks the ball towards the line now for the Dragons. It's going to be a turnover. Shot at goal. It might be Gordon that's kicked a goal for the Storm. It is. In fact, it might be Harvey. It's Harvey. He's kicked his second right on quarter time here. Still maybe a minute or two remaining. Score sponsor is Don is Good. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. And it is the Storm 4-2-26. They take the lead to Sandhurst 4-1-25, a 1 point margin.
Yes, and that all came about because Zach Charles was able to pick the pocket of the Sandhurst player, took the ball out of his hands and got a quick handball away to Harvey, and Harvey made no mistake over the shoulder.
Well, the Storm are answering some questions early here in this one. Ball up. Sexton won it down for the Dragons. Spills forward. Now going to get a high ball inside forward 50 from Oliver Morris coming out. Green couldn't quite take it. Good defence by Ernst. Kerno fired the handball forward looking for Maxted, but the Strathfieldsaye Storm defence holds up strong and forces the ball up inside forward 50. Right hand forward pocket. Sheepwash Creek into the ground, which is the left hand side of your radio dial if you're listening along at home.
Eagle Hawk up over Maryborough, famous Canterbury Park, 51 playing 0, so we can discount a close game there as we've got a secondary stoppage in the forward zone for the Dragons to the Sheepwash Creek end. Umpire throws it up, searching for another one here, Dragons to pinch the lead back, but getting one too high will be Jones of the Storm. He'll kick it wide, spots up a teammate. Stevens with the footy. You've got good eyes, Cam. Must be those new binos. Stevens down the line and will come off hands. In fact, it might be a free kick. Free kick goes to James Coughlin.
Out of bounds on the full, so Coughlin's going to get the free kick right underneath the scoreboard here, which leads the Storm leading it by 1 point. Coughlin goes with a little short pass, which finds its way into the hands of Palprat and Zach Palprat. Happy to try and slow things down a little bit here. You'll look forward to the ball. Not a lot going on inside that forward 50. Ernst tried to fly. Green brought it to ground. Able to fire out a handball, and it'll be a flying shot from Perez, which goes right to the goal line off hands through for a minus score. So that levels things up here. It's 26 apiece. Score sponsor JB Restumping.
Jones will kick it in for the Storm from fullback. You look to send it to the highway side, we'll call that, the scoreboard side. It's the outer side, and it's a long way from us, Cam, I know that.
It's a very wide ground here at Strathfieldsaye, isn't it?
Jones gets it back. Then he kicks it. It's a contested ball on the outer side. Doing well will be Wilson of the Storm. Flings the ball into the corridor. His target was Sheen. Couldn't find him. Now we're going to have a stoppage on the wing. And it'll be a ball up. All tied up here at Tannery Lane. We're beyond 20 minutes. The time clock has stopped at 20, but we're well beyond that. 26 a point. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Must be the reserves timekeepers up in the box, not playing time on today. As there's a blood rule here, I believe it's going to be Lockie Gill who's come rushing across the ground. Don't see any blood there, but the umpire definitely crossed his arm to signal the blood rule.
We've got 3 games in action at the moment, all within 2 points, Cam. It's good news for the comp. Finally, at last, give you an update very shortly.
Let's hope it stays that way as Lockie Hood gets the handball out of the pack, gives it off to Dayton Ureta. He fires it forward to Oscar Perez. Perez has got it, 75 from home, will wheel the ball inside forward 50. Going to be a chance for Maxted, knocked to ground for the Storm. Clossy, he was taken hard in a strong tackle there by Morris. Spills to ground and we'll have a ball up. 45 out from goal. Umpire wastes no time throwing the ball up. Maxted went up for the Dragons, knocked it down, but straight to the bottom of the congestion again. And then he'll do the tackling off his own ruck work and we'll have a ball up. Johnny, see if you can get us out of this one.
Yes, the pressure from both sides has been immense today, and there's no easy ball when the ball gets on the ground.
Maxted doing the ruck work, taps it to a contest, whistle. Might be a free kick to the Storm defensively, so this will relieve some pressure through Harvey, who's the recipient. He's had his hands on the footy a little bit and kicked a couple of goals, Harvey. Now he goes long. He kicked it to a contest again, but it causes a turnover. Island to Connick to Tardrew. Tardrew now will go into the pocket and spots up Curnow. And that was a little bit of a training drill there. Nice bit of work, Norm.
It was excellent football then. To me, it was the wrong kick by the Strath boys there. They kicked it to a 1-on-3 and the 3 won out easily.
Curnow played on and went round the corner and kicked a major.
How's the celebration on him?
It's right on quarter time to extend the lead to 5-2-32 to 4-2-26. Bendigo City Framers, score sponsor. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, it's been an excellent first quarter of football at Tannery Lane. Both sides have kept the pressure on the opposition, but they've both been able to, when they're able to get the ball out, run, move it, use it well, and spot up their forwards. And to the credit of both sides, they've been able to kick accurately 4-2 to 5-2, and we certainly have a game on our hands here, and it's a quality game of football between two excellent sides.
Camp Reserve 2-point margin. Castlemaine Trail 4-1-25. The home side against the Bulldogs. Gisborne 4-3-27. Eagle Hawk lead Maryborough out at famous Canterbury Park 8-3-51. Maryborough Duck Eggs at the moment yet to hit the scoreboard. And out at Wade Street, a close one as well. Golden Square have just kicked a goal to take it to 3-4-22 to the Bloods 2-3-15. And here at Tannery Lane, we've got a contest on our hands as well. Sandhurst 5-2-32. They lead the Strathstorm 4-2-26, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League, Round 7, Top 5. It's the Bendigo Football Netball League, Round 7, Top 5. Coming in at number 1, Bradley Keogh from Castlemaine. This beautiful shot tucked against the boundary line over the shoulder. What a brilliant goal. Number 2 sees Zachary Greaves from Castlemaine take a huge fly. Got a nice little ride there too. He was able to go back and slot it home for a goal. Coming in at number 3, it's Bryce Curnow from Sandhurst. Just leading by example here. Ball comes in, beats his opponent, then spins out of trouble and kicks that one over the shoulder. That's exactly what you want from your playing coach. Follow me, boys, he says. Coming in at number 4, it's the boys from Golden Square. This one starts off with Macy Eaton just taking off. A great run down the middle of the ground. Gets back the old 1-2, and he looks to pinpoint a target here. Here's Jaden Burke in the goal square. Misses the mark, but then he finishes off his work off the ground. What a great goal by Jaden. He managed 8 goals on the weekend. Coming in at number 5, it's James Shishka from Strathfieldsaye. Gets it in the top of the goal square. The old over-the-head kick. Gotta love that. That was 1 of 7 he got on the weekend.
In the Bendigo Footy League, it is quarter time here at Tannery Lane. It is the Strathfieldsaye Storm 4-2-26, the Sandhurst Dragons 5-2-32, hitting the front in the last moments of the quarter with Bryce Curnow goaling right on the siren. Around the grounds in Bendigo Footy, Castlemaine 4-1-25, Gisborne 4-4-28, 3-point margin in that game, and Golden Square 3-4-22 to South Bendigo 2-3-15, Eaglehawk 8-3-51, Maryborough yet to register a score. Back here at Tannery Lane, the goal kickers in this one, Matt Harvey has kicked 2 goals for the Storm. Lockie Gill kicked the first of the game for the Storm with a magnificent snap around the body. Carson James also got on the end of 1. Fergus Green has kicked 3 goals, 1. Caleb Connick and Bryce Curnow kicking a goal as well. Better players in the game for the Strathfieldsaye Storm, Norm Jenkins.
Better players in the first quarter. Matt Harvey, Lachlan Gill, Malik Gordon up forward. He's straightened the Storm up. He's given them a target to look for up there. Ben Lester in the ruck. Surprised us a little bit that he's lined up in the ruck, but done very well. Patrick Blandford down back, getting plenty of the football. And I liked the way young Jed Daniels went about it in that first quarter. A couple of very good touches, one resulting in a goal, and another one a lovely kick forward, which unfortunately only saw a point.
Fergus Green for Sandhurst providing a target. He's kicked 2 or 3. I think
3.
He's got 3 there. Probably could have had a 4th when he got his hands on the footy right in front of goal and dropped a mark. Excuse me. He ordinarily would have taken. Maxted, I think, has been good up forward as well at times. Lockie Tardrew. Caleb Connick continues to get better and better as a player. He really hunts the football. His disposal is a little bit unusual. He looks like a little bit of a praying mantis when he gets it, but boy, oh boy, is he effective. Jake McLean, always, I reckon, he's serviceable for the Dragons. And Dayton Urata coming to the side as well. Good young player, really making his mark here at Tannery Lane, where we're just about to get the second term underway. Big contest. It's darkening skies. It's not going to rain, but it's certainly dull enough to have the lights on. Let's see if that in fact occurs a little later on. just about to get the second term underway. It's the Storm. They trail at Tannery Lane 4-2-26 to Sandhurst 5-2-32. Here is the powerhouse Cam Power.
You've called no rain, but it's got that feeling of a potential bit of rain around. It is real darkening skies out here. Certainly a little bit chillier than what it was during our pre-game here. So umpire will loft the ball up in the air to get the second quarter underway. Of course, Andrew Snell, John Norton and Steve Christensen, our umpires this afternoon. Ball up. Storm will win it. Wilson will fire the first kick of the second quarter forward. It'll bounce in the direction of Charles. Leading out. Couldn't quite take it cleanly. Eventually, it was Bodie Stevens that did. Fed off the handball to a teammate. Fires it towards the top of 50. They'll emerge with the footy here. It's going to be a flying shot on goal, which has gone through for a minor score. And it will be a 5-point lead to the Dragons. Early stages of the second quarter. Score sponsor, JB Restumping.
So the restart, the kick in from fullback. It was a good kick. Ends up with Ruff, who's been quiet this afternoon. So is Wilkinson, who he kicked it to. That's Matty Wilkinson. Two players I haven't called until now, as the ball comes off Wilkinson's hand and across half forward.
It was Zach
for the
Charles
Storm.
that put through that minor score before as well, Johnny.
Will be a ball in. So up they'll go in the ruck again. Big Sexton front position for the Dragons. Ball spills, they'll share it around. Hood getting involved. Handball to Urater. Urater now kicks it to Stagg. Following up support is Smith. Got tackled by Blanford of the Storm. And pinged. Is that a new interpretation, Cam?
Yeah, it was certainly very quick on it. The new interpretation, which you have seen, probably was there. Blanford's got it. He'll quickly play on. Oh, he was dealt with after he got rid of the ball, but it still went forward. It was a clean and fair hit. That was Cooper Smith that went through. Storm have got it. It'll be Zach Charles who will wheel inside forward 50. Fly down there from Shishka. Couldn't quite bring it down. Going towards the boundary line. Some appeals for a insufficient intent free kick, which you're not going to see paid at this competition. We'll get it thrown in for a minor score. I think I've only seen that paid once this year in the games we've broadcast, and that was last week at Kangaroo Flat, John.
And it was a pretty obvious one, wasn't it?
It was a very obvious one.
Storm in attack. Umpire will throw it in hard up against the point post. Gordon did the ruck work there for the Storm. Trying to release was Urater. He couldn't. Picked up by Riley Wilson. Riley Wilson went goalward and it goes through and doesn't score. In fact, it's hard up against the point post. Another throw in. 3-point margin, Camp Reserve. Castlemaine trail. And 3-point margin at Wade Street. The Bulldogs up over the Bloods at the moment. But they've responded a little bit, the Bloods, haven't they?
Charles won it out of the ruck. It'll bounce forward. Wharton got it. Fed it off to the run of Hood. He goes down the line. Ratcliffe tried to read the flight against Curnow. Did well. Ball spilt out. Sent forward for the Dragons. Caleb Ernst will get there. He urged to keep it in. He did. Then he broke the tackle. Fed the handball off to Wilson. Wilson, wow! He held the ball above his head and then he was gone. It was holding the ball. Advantage paid. Has advantage not been paid? Advantage has been paid. I don't think the Dragons, they may have stopped a second then, Norman.
No, one player stopped. Curnow went on and handballed it, and then 28 decided to stop. Well, it's too late once the first player's taken advantage.
Boundary throw him right in front of our broadcast position. Good game of footy here at Tannery Lane. It'll be spilt forward. Sexton got it off. He was dealt with after he tackled. He fed it off. Stagg's kick was smothered. Hard up against the boundary line. It'll be fired forward by Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe got it off to the teammate who sent it forward. That was Caleb Sheehan, and it lands on the chest of Zach Charles.
Charles now, he'll go to half forward. He's got a lead. He put it in the path of Shishka, but it was at his ankles. Shishka he threw that out to Sheen. Now Sheen on the outside of the boot, inside forward 50. Looks for Gordon. Gordon handball to Wilson. Wilson handballs over to a teammate who'll go around the body. I reckon it's King who's had a shot at goal. In fact, right to the top of the line, Bode Stevens was standing there, and easy as you like. That kind of came from nowhere, Norm, and popped it through. So the Storm, they go to 5-3-33. They take the lead by a point. Score sponsor is Don is good. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, both these sides live by the motto of keep the ball moving. In modern day football, it seems to be the way to go, and that's what Strath did then. They made something out of nothing. It was Zach Charles that first off attacked the ball and was able to get control of it. And then in the end, it was an excellent goal down there by Bode Stevens, standing on the goal line waiting.
The Storm have retained the lead. And they'll win the ball out of the middle here. Blandford fired out the handball to Carson James. It might have been Clossy that got it out to him, and then James will send it out wide. Charles has been everywhere for the Storm so far in this game. We'll go over the boundary line for a boundary throw in on the far side of the ground. The highway side, the highway wing, as Johnny Hunter called it before. It'll be thrown in quickly. Leicester got first hands to it, spills the ground. Now they'll fire it out. Harvey. But his handball forward. Now they'll send the kick inside forward 50 the Storm. Shishka didn't quite carry there. Island's got it. He had to get his way out of trouble. He just got it, but he gave it to Gordon. Gordon gave it to Clossy. Clossy will dribble it through for a goal. And the Storm have got a 7-point lead. 6-3-39. They lead this one by 7 points over the Sandhurst Dragons. Terrific goal by Daniel Clossy. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott. Builder, here's Norm Jenkin.
Yes, that was good forward line pressure by the Strathstorm there. The ball came in. Sandhurst did the right thing, brought it to ground, but they were then able to put the pressure on and win the free kick. It was a quick play on, and it was a lovely work by Clossy. He knew he had to go underground to get it past the opposition, and he did it perfectly.
Unfamiliar territory for the Dragons. I don't think we've seen a margin this far out all year, and it's only 7 points. Let's see how they respond. Back in the middle, Leicester doing the ruck work. It'll be the Dragons, however, that will win it out of the middle. It came from Hood. He goes shallow inside forward 50. Running onto the footy would be Cooper Smith and bangs it on the left and goes goalward and wayward for a minor score. So good quick response, albeit it was only for a minor one. 6-3-39 playing 5-3-33. The Storm have this one at the moment, 7 minutes in second term.
And interesting to note, when that ball came into Fergus Green, Caleb Ernst wasn't going to be in a wrestling situation. He was behind and made a lovely knock.
So Jones wastes no time bringing the ball back into play down the far wing.
Good grab.
The mark will be intercepted for the Dragons. They'll look to get it inside forward 50 though quickly. Short lead is going to land on the mark, which is Kobe Maxted. Hard up against the boundary. He'll have to kick it all of 50 metres. He didn't back himself. He chips it short, and it's going to be turned over straight to the hands of Clossy. Clossy's quick to turn over. It's an absolute shocker of a kick across goal. Wharton stood there and said, "Thank your mother for the rabbits." He'll chip it inside forward 50 looking for Green. It carried over the top of him. A little bit of turnover in this one now. Clossy gets a chance to avenge. Handballed off to Ernst. Ernst gave it off to a teammate. Oh, the kick was smothered. It falls into the hands of Perez, and Perez will kick the goal. Something out of nothing for Oscar Perez. Right place, right time after the smother, and he puts the goal through, and we're all level again at Tannery Lane.
Yes, we haven't mentioned Zach Paul Pratt very much today, but it was a lovely smother then, and it fell into Perez's hands, and he made no mistake with the lovely left foot along the ground to bounce it through.
Score sponsor, JB Re-Stumping, 6-4-40 apiece. 6-3-39 apiece, I should say. 7.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. It's a cracking game of footy, Johnny.
2 point margin down at the Camp Reserve. The Magpies lead the Bulldogs against Gisborne. So
a Neville Jetta effect.
The Neville Jetta effect, I like it. And also the Bloods doing okay out at Wade Street. They trail by a goal. As
I told you that'd be a close game. I'm going early though, but
it's the rev up I gave them just pre-game. They must have been listening. Just forward of centre now. It'll be the Dragons. It's a ball up. Leicester wins it. Handballs it to Mulquinny. The Storm now to half forward. Possession of the footy, overrunning it will be Daniels. Couldn't collect. Turnover. On the end of a handball was Tardrew. Probably threw it. He did. Free kick will go to the Storm. So it's with Charles. Charles now into the forward pocket. He tried to honour a lead by Shishka to the back of the pack. Gordon's there. Keeps it alive, handballs it. Oh, they're in trouble here, Sandhurst. They need to kill it. Are they good enough and strong enough? Free kick. No. Goal. Gill. They should have killed it there, the Dragons, when they had the chance. Little bit, I don't know, a brain fade maybe, Norm, but that takes it to a one-goal margin, 7-3-45 to 6-3-39. That's his second score. Sponsor JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, you get defenders in this day and age forget that if they're under pressure, yes, they can rush it behind. And it looked then as though the Sandhurst player wasn't game to rush it behind, but he could have quite easily because the pressure was right on him. To Strathstorm's credit, they kept the pressure on, and Lockie Gill got his second goal for the day.
Plenty of questions being asked by the Storm. What have the Dragons got? Halfway through the second quarter, it's a 1-goal margin, and it is really goal-for-goal kind of stuff at the moment. Let's hope it stays this way. It's been a cracking game of footy in front of a cracking crowd.
Yes, it's been a good start to the second quarter by the Strat Storm. When they get the ball in their forward line, they've been able to hold it there and score.
Ball makes its way back to the middle. Leicester wins it down. Tarju threw his arms up like he was being held. Umpire saw it, gave him the free kick. Quickly handballs off to the runner. They'll go short. Might have been McLean going up towards Perez. Couldn't quite mark it. Spills to ground, but he was able to recover. They'll fire the handball to Connick, who will send it inside forward. 50. Oh, Maxted was coming. But standing in the hole, Matt Harvey's been really good for the Storm. And as I say that, he chips across goal. And Cooper Smith almost intercepted it. And they were able to recover, luckily, the Storm. Short pass finds Caleb Sheehan. Sheehan will come broadcast side wing. No mark taken, but they're able to recover. Featherby missed his handball with the tackle. Going through will be Bode Stevens. Gave it off to Sheehan. Abe Sheehan then gets it back into the hands of Featherby. Chipping kick down the line. Turnover. Ureta for the Storm, for the Dragons. Gave it off to Jimmy Coughlin, who's got the short pass if he wants it, and that's what he takes. It'll find Lockie Wright.
Now Wright, short pass forward, off the instep. It was lucky. Finds McLean. McLean runs and goes. He'll put it inside forward 50. Curnow used his body beautifully. Just a little nudge and takes a mark. 35 out directly in front, Norm.
Yes, excellent body work by Curnow there. He was one-on-one with young Dole there and just gave him a little nudge at the right time and then was able to stand his ground and take a good overhead mark.
He was gearing for it before the ball even came in,
right,
you could
yes.
see.
He knew what was going to happen.
To the Tannery Lane end. Bryce Curnow. He played forward the last couple of games we've seen him, and on this occasion kicks. Well, he celebrated, and the goal umpire said, no, son, that is only a behind, and I'm the man that counts. A 5-point margin, Storm lead. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Thought he was about to unload on the goal umpire. Then he was certain that it went through. So the Storm will bring the ball back into play. They'll send it down the broadcast side wing. Charles had to come over the top and kill it over the boundary line. The kick just didn't really favour anyone from Strathfieldsaye out of bounds right in front of our broadcast position. How do you see that one, Norm? It looked like a goal from here.
Well, from here it looked like a goal, but the goal umpire did get a long way over. He got beyond that goal post before he made his decision.
Throw in. Maxted grabbed it out of the ruck, but then he was taken straight away. The ball didn't hit the ground as both ruckmen probably had a fair chunk of that ball. We'll do it all again.
Blood's revival is short-lived, let me tell you. We'll get to that in a minute there, Cam.
Maxted used his body well, tried to then get it forward on Zach Charles. Going through, no really able to take clean possession. What do you got for us, John?
Golden Square have kicked away at Wade Street. They're now 6-7-43 to 3-4-22. So stagnated a little bit after a promising start, the Bloods.
Still only a 19-point margin. Ureta managed to get boot to footy. Spills out, hard up against the boundary line, and they'll take it across the boundary line, which will be, is it Reinheimer?
Reinheimer,
I'll go with, Reen or Ryan, maybe, something.
Yeah,
Reinheimer.
Reinheimer.
So throw in, 50 out from home, right-hand forward pocket, Tannery Lane end of the ground. Club room end here at Strathfieldsaye. Clossy tried to take it through. He was taken in a strong tackle, and he dropped the ball. That new interpretation comes into play, holding the ball. It'll be Nick Stagg with the free kick.
Stagg now. He'll go to the pocket. He's got a lead. He went to a 2-on-1 contest. Probably a little bit of fur green consciousness then because he was up against it. Now Jake McLean tries to assist and right on 50 will have a ball in.
Yes, once again, Caleb Burns come from behind and got a lovely fist in, giving Fergus Green no chance of taking the mark.
Low percentage kick to the pocket there too.
Very low percentage.
That is being a little bit too conscious of your best player on the ground. Maxted grabs it out of the air from the ruck contest. Another stoppage whistle. Tried to make a path. Ureta.
I reckon they need to bring back that rule. If a ruckman grabs it and doesn't dispose of it, it should be holding the ball. It just happens far too often.
Another ball up. Maxted, he punches it into the corridor, but it's all with the Storm. They need to be careful. Curnow hit the pack with Ernst. As when I say Ernst, I meant with Ernest and not Ernst the player. Got caught out there a bit, Norm. Another stoppage. Well, it was probably the correct thing to say.
It was the correct thing to say.
Well, Ernst has obviously been given the big job today of playing on Fergus Green. And since he's moved to him, hasn't been a bad matchup. Ureta's got it. He steps his way out of trouble, sends it goalwards. And getting back to lend a hand in front of Ernst there was Cooper Jones, who takes the intercept mark. He'll chip short, and he'll find Ethan Featherby deep in his forward pocket, right-hand side, which is the Tannery Lane end of the ground. Sends it down to a 3-on-1 Made it hard work for Gordon. Dragons have got the numbers. Maxted got it. The handball came from McLean. Then Maxted, he took a little bit of time to get rid of it. Just got away with it. Gave it off to Nelly. Then Nelly got it and gave it back to McLean. High ball inside forward 50. Ball hits the ground. Stagg fires the handball back to Smith. And then Smith's got the shot for Harrison Free. He goes goalwards and Harrison Free slots it. It wasn't a traditional straightforward shot from 40 out directly in front. He used his side of the boot, but it managed to go through for a goal. And this is a magnificent game of footy here at Tannery Lane. It is the Strathfieldsaye Storm and the Sandhurst Dragons. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, another good
7-3-45 playing 7-4-46.
Another good passage of play there by the Sandhurst Football Club, and it was actually Fergus Green that made the run from behind that time and got the ball to ground and made the chance for Sandhurst.
Leicester wins the tap in the middle from the restart for the Storm. We'll have a secondary stoppage.
No, free kick.
Free kick. It'll go the Dragons. So they'll have another chance here. Hood puts it in the path of Wharton. Wharton kept his feet nicely. Handball over the top was cute to Ruff. Ruff by foot to McLean. McLean by hand. Tardrew. Tardrew now runs inside forward 50. He'll kick it to a running, leading Green. Couldn't get it. At the back of the pack did nicely was Dole. Dole.
High tackle.
Probably it is a free kick and it'll go the Dragons right on the boundary line. And it'll be Matty Wilkinson with the free kick. It was there, Norm.
Yes, it was there. Dole just a little bit over-aggressive with that tackle. Came over the shoulder and pulled the Sandhurst player, Wilkinson, to the ground.
69-point margin out at Canterbury Park. Eagle Hawk over Maryborough. Maryborough have scored one solitary behind. Wilkinson, a banana, makes it work across the face of goal. And Curnow kept it alive, but that was a good bit of play by the Storm. Mel Quinney killed it to give a minor score to Sandhurst. 47 playing 45, midway through this second term.
Storm waste no time bringing the ball into the far side of the ground. Mark is taken. It's in the hands of Cooper Jones in the long sleeve out there. He'll chip it short to his captain in Lockie Ratcliffe, who will then chip it to Ernst. He can give it short to Dole if he wants, but he decides against it. Ureta pushes across to make sure that option wasn't available. Good defence here for the Dragons. Forces Ernst to go back to where he came in the hands of Sheehan. Takes the mark. Chips the ball over the top to the run there. It's taken by Harvey. Harvey feeds off a handball. Now they can look to go through the middle of the ground to the Storm. They work it forward and Maxed's there to intercept the mark. He'll wheel it quickly into the middle of the ground and find Tardrew.
Tardrew will play onto half forward. It was a nice little kick. Spots up Morris. Morris too far out from home. Now he goes. He puts it to the top of the square. Curnow's the target. Going there also was Wilkinson, but with the Storm who mop up. They're screaming for a free kick, the Dragon supporters. Incorrect disposal was the call by the crowd, but not the umpire. And it'll go over the boundary line. It was Mol Quinney who was a little bit nervous on that occasion, and right in front of the grandstand will have a ball in.
Packed crowd here on a Saturday afternoon. King's birthday long weekend. Tardrew got it, fed it off. Now it comes out forward. It's going to be a flying shot out of there, which will go goalwards. It might be Jake McLean. It is, and he's slotted it. Jake McLean has kicked an absolute beauty. From 35 metres out, directly in front. This is a magnificent game of footy here. It is the Sandhurst Dragons. They lead this one 8-4-52. The Strathfieldsaye Storm 7-3-45. As we approach half-time here, it is the score sponsor. Thanks to JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, once again, excellent work by Lockie Tardrew. Look away handball. He got the ball onto Jake McLean, and Jake made no mistake around the body.
Too early to go with the Camp Reserve upset brewing line or not? It's Castlemaine by a goal over Gisborne. We're approaching half-time. There's here at Tannery Lane. Hood wins it out of the middle for Sandhurst and put it in the path of Green. Green danced a little dance and then he put a handball in front of his teammate. That was Ureta, who did pretty well. Now it just spills. Need to be careful here, the Storm. As the ball spills towards the boundary line, they'll safely see it over. It was Dole with his hands in the footy at the end. He had support from Cooper Jones, who did well defensively, and right in front of the club rooms will ball it in 30 around from goal. Dragons looking ominous again. That means dangerous, Cam.
And it does, John. Ball thrown in. I didn't know that one. Curnow knocks it down. Morris will be taken as well. Taken as soon as he's taken as soon as he grabbed possession of the ball, he will be taken. I finally spit that one out. Ball up. One down. Stagg got it, gave it to Hood. He was tackled straight away. Clossy then won it for the Storm. Fired off the handball. Now they'll get it to Sheehan. Then Sheehan can go down the line on the left, but his kick will be intercepted. Turning around rightly was Isaac Ruff. Ruff can go into the middle of the ground. He finds Wharton. Then Wharton can give it to Maxted. Maxted will then wheel a high ball inside forward 50. Going back and taking a strong mark.
Young Morris.
It's Ollie Morris. He wastes no time with a short pass inside forward 50, and he finds Matty Wilkinson 45 metres out directly in front.
Yes,
He's been good, Morris.
another good. He has been good for a first up game. Another good passage of play by Sandhurst there. They used the outlet kick to the centre of the ground perfectly, opened the ground up, and found Morris in space.
So he'll come in 40 metres out directly in front. He'll go goalward. It's Wilkinson.
There.
No. And it's through for a minor score, and the Storm will waste no time bringing the ball back into play. It's a 7-point margin, 9-point margin.
Harvey received the ball from fullback, and then he kicked it long, but he's
Free kick in the back.
a free kick. I thought it was going to be a turnover there. Lucky for the Storm because they've been under pressure the last few minutes. Sheen goes to the outer side wing for the Storm. Mark's been taken by Shishka. He'll come inboard. His target was Mulquinny, but turnover. Floating in front of the contest was Tardrew. By hand gives it to Hood. He is besieged.
Over the shoulder.
Over the shoulder. It looked like a good tackle to me, Norm, from here, but Riley Wilson a bit overzealous. So it's Hood, short pass, just barely the required distance. That should be 50. It's a mark taken by Maxted. I reckon the umpire got caught a bit short then, Maxted. Now Maxted will kick it long. Connick from 3 deep. Takes a mark for the Dragons. Big, long, gangly arms. And he clunked it. He's 60 from home. Short pass. Bullet ball to Fergus Green. Good defensive work it was by the Storm. They'll clear it. Mopped up by Stevens, and he'll kick it and find Abe Sheen.
Well, Connick couldn't hold that one after the pearler before, so Sheen counts his lucky stars, banks it into the middle, and then kicks it straight to Jimmy Coughlin. He wastes no time with a short pass wide for the Dragons. It's not his greatest kick, but it might work out okay for McLean, who has time to steady. His kick go down the line, and it'll be turned over by Cooper Jones, who's taken the mark in the long sleeves. He's quick to fire the handball off to the runner there. That runner there going through will be Caleb Sheehan. Kick will go inside forward 50 in the Charles direction. He went high, couldn't quite take the mark. Hard up against the boundary line. Had every chance at taking that mark, but he couldn't quite bring it down. It'll be a boundary throw in just inside forward 50 for the Dragons. They are shooting towards the Sheepwash Creek end of the ground, John.
Yep, in fact, it's the Storm in attack, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the Storm. You confused me there a bit, Cam. You're trying to trick me, aren't you? As the ball is now a high kick up the chimney. Riley Wilson. Did that go the required distance? I don't reckon it. It went 50 up, but only 20 forward. Short pass forward to Lester. He's well inside forward 50, so this could be important in the context of this game.
I haven't changed my arrows from the first quarter to who's going
that
to
old
play,
chestnut,
so.
yeah, I know, I've been caught out.
Well, you did the right thing, John, when you thought it wasn't a mark, but you said it went 50 up and 20 long, so 20 long far enough.
Oh, 20, well, there you go. You're right. You are right, Norm.
Depends what using a measurement you're going
This will
by.
test Benny Lester here. He's just inside the 50 when he kicks it to the Sheepwash Creek end.
The Sheepwash Creek end. Ben Lester playing in the ruck predominantly this afternoon. Awkward looking ball. It won't be a goal, and it won't even be a score. I reckon it's a mark. Right? No,
it was a mark.
It's a mark. So it'll be the Dragons, and they'll release from the back pocket. Lockie Hood has got the footy.
Lockie Hood's got it. Came from Wright, who marked it on the last line of defence for the Dragons. He'll send it down the line. Big fly on the far wing. No mark taken. Ball spills to ground. Tardrew tried to accelerate his way through. Then he was able to find a nice little dinky pass forward. But coming forward and taking the intercept mark will be Featherby for the Storm. He'll waste no time. He'll wheel the ball towards the top of 50. Fist came from the Dragons to make it spill out the back. No clean possession. Charles is there. Wright's got it to Tardrew. Then Tardrew over the top to Stagg, who will send the high ball into the middle of the ground. Well, there was an appeal for push there, but it's going to be a turnover for the Storm. They'll work it in the middle for Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe goes forward. Mark taken by Ben Lester.
So Lester again Cracking contest going on at the Camp Reserve. It's a 1-point margin to the Bulldogs now. We'll just keep our eye on that game as it's in the forward zone for the Storm. They asked for a free kick because Lockie Hood grabbed the footy for the Dragons, tried to emerge and couldn't. So at the top of the square, 35 out, we'll have a ball up. Umpire doesn't muck around, puts it into the air. Connick swooped on the footy, couldn't quite get it. Another stoppage. We've rolled to 20 metres out from goal. Storm in attack. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Inside forward 50 are the Strathfieldsaye Storm. Picked up by Lockie Hood, who was taken straight away in the tackle. We'll have a ball up, left-hand forward pocket.
Yeah, good pressure by the Storm at present, keeping the ball in their forward line.
No one able to take any real clean possession. Coughlin tried to burrow his way through. He was taken in the tackle, and has he been pinned for holding the ball?
Yeah, been pinned for...
Jimmy Coughlin, he picked up, well, to the letter of the law, he did try to burrow his way through.
And then he just let the ball go.
So it's going to result in a free kick, which will be Bode Stevens, who's already got one this afternoon. He'll be 25 metres out. Left-hand forward pocket, Sheepwash end, creek of the ground. Will waste no time. In he comes. Goes goalwards, it starts left, it swings back late, but it's gone through for a minor score. So 7-4-46, the Strathfieldsaye Storm, 8-6-54, the Sandhurst Dragons. Cracking game of footy, score sponsor is Don is good.
Yeah, you just get the feeling, though, that Sandhurst are starting to control this game and keeping the ball in as they want it.
Well, you wouldn't hurry up now, would you? You'd look for half-time, wouldn't you? A couple of important shots at goal by the Storm in the context of the game have been missed in this last few minutes. As Tardrew received, in fact, it's Ireland. They look a little alike, those two. Ireland now for the Dragons in his back half. Kicks it to Connie, right. Handballs to a teammate now who'll bang it long. Might have been Smith who got the footy. In fact, it was Morris. Goes to half forward. Over the top. Paul Pratt getting involved. Curnow, 30-metre handball backwards to Hood. Hood will go corridor. They've got a player on. Stagg just went with it one-handed. He probably didn't realise he had time and space then. He had Klossy looming. And we'll have a ball up 51 from goal.
Yes, he was bracing himself for contact there, which didn't come.
Ball goes up. Leicester grabbed it out of the rack, taken straight away by Max Deb. Will do it all again.
No one could ever question the commitment of Stagg either. It was just one of those ones where he braced himself.
Right. Yeah. He braced himself for contact, which didn't come.
Yeah.
Max Deb went up, won it down over Leicester, who's been doing all the ruck for the Storm. It spills out. It's going to be Tardrew, sends it in the green direction, but wearing him like a glove down there was Ernst. Knocked it down, got it forward. Going to be forward by Charlie King, who had the late jumper change for the Storm. They'll clear the ball into the middle of the ground. Mark will be taken in the hands of Abe Sheehan, who's across half back for Strathfieldsaye.
Sheen spots up. I reckon that's the other Sheen. It's Caleb. They'd have to be brothers, wouldn't they, Cam? Caleb Sheen now. Short pass. Sheen to Sheen. Went to Klossy. Klossy comes inboard. He's got Ryan Hamer of the Storm. He'll now go on the left, inside forward 50. Have the Storm got a chance here? Back of the pack, Malik Gordon. Can he pick it up? He does. He'll handball it back into the path of Sheen, who's run on into the forward zone. They're still in this contest, but they're going to cause a turnover. Cooper Smith picked it up there for the Dragons. Sends it to the outer side. Ureta. He was up against Featherby. Featherby takes the mark for the Storm.
Well, not only was he up against Featherby, he was up against 3-on-1 if the ball hit the ground, but Featherby took the mark. He wastes no time. We'll send the high ball inside forward 50. Wanting a fly. He's going to get one. Couldn't quite bring it down with Shishka. Dragons at the back of the pack. Maxted dives in hard on top of the footy. He's dived straight on top of it. Umpire Norton crosses his arms and says, I'll ball it up.
20-point margin at Wade Street. The Bulldogs leading the Bloods. 15 metres out from goal. Storm in attack. Hurried kick out of the pack by Tardrew. Doesn't go the required distance. Connick overran the footy for the Dragons. They're still in the contest here into the Storm. Shishka getting his hands on the footy. He gave it by hand to James. James went around the body on the left and might have snuck it in for a minor one, and it is. 47 playing 54. 29 gone. Second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Here at Tannery Lane, we've got a cracker on hands.
So Free will bring the ball back into play. He'll go short. Find a teammate. Take the mark. Might be Cooper Smith, who will then transition across for the switch. Mark is taken. Handball given to Tardrew, who's got time to bounce. He'll have one bounce and he'll have two. And he'll give it off to Coughlin. Coughlin just wheels onto the right. It's going to be a tough chance there for Stag, and it's punched over the boundary line. In fact, it was Palprat who had it all to do in front of us against Lockie Ratcliffe, and Ratcliffe killed the ball for a boundary throw in.
Good contest, Norm.
It is an excellent contest. 30 minutes into this second quarter.
Right in front of our broadcast position. Ball thrown in. Max Zeb won it out of the ruck. Kick was smothered. Spilt to the hands of Eureka. There was a hold there. And Daniel Clossy received the free kick for the Strathfieldsaye Storm across half back.
It's broadcast side left half back. He'll go long. He's got Sheen on. Finds him. It's been okay, Caleb Sheen. As the siren sounds here at Tannery Lane. What a good game of footy we got. The halftime score is the Storm, 7-5-47. They trail Sandhurst 8-6-54 at Wade Street. Golden Square lead 7-7-49 to the Bloods 4-5-29. At Eagle Hawk, famous Canterbury Park 11-5-71. The Borough lead the Magpies. Maryborough 1 behind. And at Camp Reserve, it's a 1-point margin. 6-2-38 Castlemaine. They trail Gisborne 5-9-39. How did you see that opening half of football, Norm?
It was an interesting half of football. Pressure from both sides was excellent, and also the skill level of both sides was excellent, because when they were able to get the ball out in the open, they were very precise, both sides, by hand and foot, which made it easy for their forwards to score when it came in on the lead. But an excellent game of football between two very good sides, and a 7-point lead to Sandhurst at half-time. Certainly Strath still well within this game. It's theirs for the upset if they can have a good start to the third quarter and get the game under their control. Currently, I believe Sandhurst have got the game under their control, and as we go into this second half, they look the side to me that will go on with it.
Cam, when we were calling the footy, and I'm sure you sensed it as well, the Storm had a number of opportunities to not only hit the scoreboard in a big way, but take the lead. I reckon 2 or 3 times. In particular, there was a couple of shots by Ben Lester who didn't make the most of it. Did you sense that as well?
Yeah, no, there's definitely been a couple of chances. They had periods where they had sustained ball inside forward 50. They just couldn't make the most of it, put it on the scoreboard. And I think if you're going to beat Sandhurst, you've got to make the most of every opportunity you get when you're going forward. But I'm liking the game that Ben Lester's putting forward, though. He's been quite impressive down there. But I just feel if Strathfieldsaye are to win this game, they're going to need a big second half from James Shishka. 7 goals last week against Gisborne, hardly cited today, John. So he needs to get himself into the game in the second half, and whether or not that's the ball use going into him, but I just feel like he hasn't been there at the times when they've needed a flyer, they've needed someone with a cool head inside forward 50, and if he can do that in the second half, they'll be every chance of winning the game.
I won't pretend to be a coach or know much about coaching, Norm, but if I was Ash Connick, I would quietly, and I wouldn't be saying it to anyone, I'd be pleased that his side are being challenged, because at this time of the year, I want to see how they respond, because they haven't really been challenged all year. And so that'll give him a real indication in the second half of have they got well, of course, they've got the ability to respond, but are they capable of responding when it's required?
Yeah, that's true. And I think that, yes, we'll find out what the fabric of the Sandhurst Football Club is today. With all they've gone through this week, losing 2 life members, it must be very hard on the players, especially those that knew Danny Ellis so well. And to go out there today, get the pressure put on them, let's see how they come through it. And as you say, I think that the coaches, Connick and Curnow, would be very happy with the response they've seen so far, that they lost the lead in that second quarter, and they are almost 2 goals down, and they got that lead back with a couple of quick goals.
So no MCD FNL, contrary to what somebody might have told us this morning on the radio, Norm, but
Yeah.
You've got no scores coming through from you, Cam. But in the North Central, a couple of games that we're interested in, I'll give you half-time scores. St Arnott lead Charlton 4-4-28 to 2-3-15. Donald against Bort 4-7-31, trail Donald 6-3-39. Nullawil 8-9-57, they lead Wedderburn 7-5-47. And Birchip Watcham 4-9-33 against Witchy-Proof Narraport 3-4-22. And Sea Lake Nandali have the bye, but keep our eye on those games, Norm.
Interesting scores there for a half of football, and only 3 and 4 goals scored by each side. It must be very tight football up there in the North Central League, and those games, if Nulla will continue on their merry way against Wedderburn, as I said before the start, they'll jump into the top 4.
And Camp Reserve, Castlemaine trail by 1 point, 38 playing 39. Gisborne leading. Out at famous Canterbury Park, it's Eagle Hawk by 70. And at Wade Street, the Bulldogs Golden Square lead the Bloods by 20. And here, half-time here at Tannery Lane, it is Sandhurst being challenged by the Storm, 8-6-54. They lead the Storm 7-5-47. We'll take a short break. Plenty more to come in the second half. Don't go anywhere because it promises to be not only a close result here at Tannery Lane, but all round central Victoria. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League, Round 7, Top 5. Coming in at number 1, Bradley Keogh from Castlemaine. This beautiful shot tucked against the boundary line over the shoulder. What a brilliant goal. Number 2 sees Zachary Greaves from Castlemaine take a huge fly. Got a nice little ride there too. He was able to go back and slot it home for a goal. Coming in at number 3, it's Bryce Curnow from Sandhurst. Just leading by example here. Ball comes in, beats his opponent, then spins out of trouble and kicks that one over the shoulder. That's exactly what you want from your playing coach. Follow me, boys, he says. Coming in at number 4, it's the boys from Golden Square. This one starts off with Macy Eaton just taking off. A great run down the middle of the ground. Gets back the old 1-2, and he looks to pinpoint a target here. Here's Jaden Burke in the goal square. Misses the mark, but then he finishes off his work off the ground. What a great goal by Jaden. He managed 8 goals on the weekend. Coming in at number 5, it's James Shishka from Strathfieldsaye. Gets it in the top of the goal square. The old over-the-head kick. Gotta love that. That was 1 of 7 he got on the weekend.
Half time, it is round 8 of the Bendigo Footy League. It is the Strathfieldsaye Storm, 7-5-47 here at Tannery Lane to the Sandhurst Dragons, 8-6-54. And we've come right back into the second half of what has been a magnificent game of footy. To get us underway in the second half, here's John Hunter.
Up they go in the ruck to get this underway for the second half. Storm super competitive this afternoon. They'll win possession on the end of a handball. It was nice. It was through Gill. Gill will go to the top of the square. Harvey swoops on the ball. Looks to get around the body. He's clear on the left and he goes goalward and kicks a goal.
One behind.
Geez, they celebrated. They all celebrated even behind the goal, but good, strong start. 47 playing 54. Storm trail. 10 seconds gone, third term.
Free brings the ball back into play. Went to his opposite number 9 though. They send it inside forward 50. Charles. Now it works forward here in the hands of Charlie King. Spills off hands. Dragons will work it forward. Connick got it off to the run here. That run will be Cooper Smith. Smith's kick was a beauty. Finds Maxted. Maxted wheels back. Wants to go on the right. He does. He'll send it out to a hard leading Green. Beautiful kick from Maxted. And Green, he read it magnificently. Got it on his chest. But what about the kick from Maxted? Just to sit it out in front of him for him to lead onto it. It gave his opposition player, Caleb Ernst, absolutely no chance of returning that one. Green will line up for goal, 40 metres out, directly in front. He's already got 3. Other goal kickers, Harrison Free, Caleb Connick, Jake McLean, Oscar Perez and Bryce Curnow for the Dragons. As Green comes in for goal number 4 on the right, it's going to go right to the line. It's touched across the line from 40 out to miss the distance. Through for a minor score, 55 playing 48. In favour of the Sandhurst Dragons. Matt Harvey's got 2 for the Storm. Lockie Gill 2. Bode Stevens, Daniel Clossy and Carson James are your other goal kickers this afternoon so far.
So, good strong start by the Storm and then an equally good response by the Dragons. They just both didn't capitalise. As the ball now is on half back for the Storm. They'll release. Series of handballs. On the end of it was Stevens. Gives it, and the old 1-2. They're sharing it around beautifully. 3 or 4 handballs in a row, and now they're out. It ended up with Charles. Charles, he's got to play all on his own, and it's Gordon. Gordon by hand gives it to Riley Wilson, and we'll run into an open goal. I'll get you to describe it in a minute, Norma. There was 3 or 4 handballs that were absolutely pure goal when it came to link work. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder. That takes the Storm to 8-5-53 to 8-6-54. Opening couple of minutes, third term local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, that was good work up this broadcast wing. Charlie King was involved. Bode Stevens was involved. And there was excellent handballs. And they found a Strath player who just snuck back behind and stood behind the play. And a lovely handball to Wilson, who ran into an open goal. And that was a good response by Strath and a good start to the quarter after they'd gone into their forward line quick, but weren't able to capitalise first up. Sandhurst went forward and they also weren't able to capitalise, but it was excellent work by Strath Storm.
Ball back in the middle. Getting to touch on some Storm better players from that first half in a moment, Norm, as Tarju won it. Gave it off to the run of Free from half back. He'll send it up towards Maxted. Went over his head. Spills into the direction of Green. Couldn't quite take it cleanly. Coughlin got it. Gave it to Green. Green then gives it over the top to a handball. Now it's back to Coughlin from 50. Might have been going goalwards. I'm not sure. It's going to set Fergus Green up for an absolute beauty. He has taken the mark right 15 metres out directly in front. That's an old-fashioned specky, Norm.
It was excellent by Green there. It was a lovely centering kick from the Sandhurst player in Coughlin, and it gave Green every opportunity. He made the most.
So Green, well, that's the experience in the class. He snaps around his body and kicks goal number 4. And Sandhurst get the first goal of the second half. A big blow to the Strathfieldsaye Storm. Sandhurst now 9-7-61. The Strathfieldsaye Storm 8-6-54. ball.
Yes, it all started in the middle with Tardrew. He went one way, handballed the other way, and gave Free plenty of space, and that was where it all started. Free had the space to put the ball out in front of Coughlin. He dropped the mark first up, but was able to butter up and put a lovely kick into the forward pocket.
Back in the middle, up they'll go in the ruck. Smith won it from the tap out. It was good by Sexton. Then he'll spread it wide looking for Coughlin. It'll be a turnover though. Now come again. Getting involved, Jones has had a fair bit of the footy. The Storm, they're just moving it nicely off half back. It's a long kick now by Stevens. He'll send it shallow inside forward 50, but he kicked it to a 2-on-1 contest. Wilkinson received for the Dragons. He kicks it to the top of his defensive square and finds Connick, who's been good this afternoon. Connick decides to send it back whence it came. Hits up McLean. McLean of the Dragons, deep in his back pocket. Handball over the top to Connick. Had to make him wait. His handball puts him under pressure. Then still going okay through Cooper Smith. Now it goes to the outer side wing. Bouncing footy, and Ernst swoops on the footy for the Storm. It's a turnover.
That he does. He fires the handball over the top and then go back in his direction, but it'll be taken by Featherby. Dribbles one forward, off hands, boundary throw in. Right underneath the scoreboard. Better players in this game for Sandhurst in the first half. John?
Max Ted, I thought, did pretty well. Tardrew, again, good form from last time we saw him. Caleb Connick gets his hands on the football. Hood, Cooper Smith and Ureta, and Bryce Curnow providing a target down forward. Cam?
Throw in on the far side. It was taken by Stagg, banged it forward in the direction of Connick. Bouncing off hands, and Connick will wheel around with a little short ball for Coughlin. Good defensive punch for the Storm. Couldn't quite recover though. Connick went in hard. He was taken in a strong tackle by Mulquinny. And for Strathfieldsaye in that first half, Norm?
Yeah, I thought that Harvey had a good first half. Bode Stevens came into it in that second quarter, as did Zach Charles. Ben Lester in the ruck been doing very good. And Caleb Ernst has done a reasonable job down back since going on to Fergus Green.
So the ball went up and went back down, and we'll have a secondary ball up. So nothing really missed in that last 5 seconds there. Ball going up. Again, taken to ground here by Leicester. Ball it up. 55 out from home. Leicester taking his time to hand the ball off to the umpire there, who will then throw it up. One down by Sexton. Palprat's in there. Just turned into a scrap in the last minute or so here, John. See if we can get us out of this one. 60 out from goal, heading towards the sheep wash and creek of the ground.
It's the Dragons in attack. Sexton won the tap. Another contest. Connick runs in after the footy. Hits the pack pretty hard. Equally as hard was Caleb Sheen, who's been pretty good, Norm, I reckon, for the Storm as well.
Yes, look, there's a lot of players from both sides that have done their bit that they've got to do with it on the day.
Sheen over the top to King. Charlie King will run through the middle of Tannery Lane. One bounce. Handball forward. Oh, it was a little bit awkward. Are they going to get away with it? Causing a turnover? No. Good work, Storm. Back of the pack, Wilson, short pass. Over the top goes Gill. Gill went to Blanford. Blanford inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Gordon was the target. Need to be careful here, Sandhurst. Good work again by Sheen. He's everywhere. I'm talking about Caleb. There's two out there for the Storm, as we'll have a stoppage 40 metres out from goal. The Tannery Lane end. Umpire will ball it up. Up they go in the ruck. Sexton grabbed it out of the air and then put it on the boot. It only went 15 metres. Curnow trying to get involved. He does and gets a free kick off half back for the Dragons.
Yep, he doesn't get to take the kick though, because Palprat quickly takes it, ships it short to Jake McLean. McLean will then send it down the far wing for the Dragons. Mark taken by Oscar Perez. He'll get and go. And he just props and tries to go back through the middle. Gave it off to the handball, which was Wilkinson, and then gave it back to Perez. Keep an eye on Curnow in front of us here, coming to the bench. Looks like he's holding a hand there, Norm. Ball bouncing around centre half. Coughlin eventually got it out the pack. He banged it on towards goal. It'll roll towards goal. And it'll roll out of bounds for a boundary throw in deep inside the forward pocket.
Dislocated thumb, I reckon, Norm.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I just saw him signalling to the bench in the corner of my eye that he was coming, and then he ran to the bench. Looked like he was in a little bit of discomfort, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Thrown in, deep inside forward attack for the Dragons. Spills out, now they'll come through the middle here. Featherby, high kick will go wide, going back with a good bit of courage and was rewarded for the Storm. It'll work forward to Gill. Then Gill will go over the chop looking for Charles, but he's got three Sandhurst players to deal with. Gill came again to lend a hand. And in the end, I think Gill was really happy to see that one over the boundary line. And, of course, what was a 3-on-1 into a boundary throw-in, and the Storm will reset.
Yes, that was good work by Charles then, because he knew if he grabbed the ball that he'd be tackled, so he just kept it moving in front of him and gave Gill the chance to catch up.
Umpire will throw it in right in front of us, broadcast side. In this truck that we've got was donated, the sponsor, Bendigo Truck Centre. As the ball, shallow inside forward, Shishka, a look away handball. It was neat to Wilson. Wilson inside forward 50. Wharton's given a free.
Abe Sheehan.
It's either a hold or a chop.
Oh, you heard what they thought about that in the crowd then, John?
That was a hold.
Is he giving him 50?
No,
he's just going to mark. The way Abe Sheen, he's done the old going to where Wharton is standing on the man on the mark and count the steps back, Norm.
Yeah, that's right.
Get on with it.
And then he makes a mark. It'll be interesting to see whether he kicks from his mark, which was about 8 steps from the man on the mark.
This is classic overthinking the footy, Norm.
Very much so.
You'll miss it.
Some people have a routine though, John.
Well,
If it works for him.
Kick it like you normally do when you're in the midfield, but it worked for him and it worked for him then.
Straight over the goal umpire's hat.
Couldn't have been any straighter, Cam. I don't know what you're talking about. Takes it to a 1-point margin, so they've evened it up here again. Strathfieldsaye Storm score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder. It is 9-6-60 to 9-7-61. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, that was an excellent handball from Shishka there and onto Riley Wilson, and a lovely chip forward by Riley Wilson, putting the Sandhurst defenders under pressure, and they made the mistake and gave Abe Sheehan an easy shot at goal.
Back in the middle we go. 1-point contest halfway through the third quarter. Dragons will win the ball forward, but it's turned over. Clossy got it from Gill, then he sent it towards centre half forward, but it's going to take a while to get there on that far wing. But it bounces up for Caleb Sheehan. He handballs forward. Overrunning the ball was Gordon. He slipped over, but he was able to recover. Barreling through was free. He was taken in the tackle by Gordon. We've seen similar ones today paid holding the ball, but that one was not paid, and we'll have a ball up 55 out from home.
It's a good second effort by Gordon then. He overran the ball, but was then able to make up for it with a good tackle.
Ball up, going back through Clossy. Couldn't quite take any clean possession. It's picked up by Palprat. Banged forward down that highway wing, as Johnny called it earlier. The Storm will then receive. They'll send a ball inside 450. Wilson goes back and takes a strong mark hard up against the boundary line. Just inside the paint of 50, though. Would take an absolute magnificent kick from here. He's going back like he's going to have a set shot here, Riley Wilson. He'll kick from right on where the paint meets the boundary line, where those two lines intercept. 50-metre line.
What?
And the boundary line.
What the?
Goes goalwards, goes right to the line. It comes off hand. Shishka was there, picked up by Sheehan. Handball back forward. Here's the first gamer trying to break through a tackle there. Couldn't quite find a way through, though. Spills to ground. Eventually it's Eurita. Yeah. It's a throw. Oh, there's appeals. The Sandhurst crowd are not very happy with that one, and it's going to result in a shot on goal. There's a bit of push and shove at the top of the square. I didn't say who the offender was, Norm, but you certainly spotted it.
No, I didn't see who the Sandhurst player that had the ball, but he certainly just handed it to a teammate.
That was Jed Daniels, the first gamer, who did well to find his way through. Is it going to be a shot for him? No, it's going to be Shishka. 7 last week against Gisborne. Hasn't got one today. Sits third in the tally for goals for 2024. In he comes to put the Storm in front. Halfway through the third quarter. 30 out directly in front. Kicks the goal. It was Abe Sheehan that celebrated it more than Shishka, but it was Shishka that gets the goal. 10-5-65. Playing 10-6-66, I should say, the Storm. Playing 9-7-61. It's a 5-point margin. The Storm have come to play. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, it's been an excellent start to this second half by the Storm. They've kept the pressure on. They've kept the ball on their forward line. They've made the most of their forward entries.
Back in the middle, restart. Doing the ruck is Charles in the middle. He's been good for the Storm. Will they win it out of there again? They've certainly got the pressure on. It'll probably be a stoppage. Umpire lets it go. Running with the footy, Morris has been pretty good. Inside forward 50. To Maxted. He's a toenail within forward 50. He decides to calm everyone down and says, no, I'm going to have a shot.
He can kick this too.
He can.
And that was experience getting it to Maxted because it was Lockie Tardrew that just a dinky little kick forward that went 15 metres.
If he gets onto this, he'll put this into the Sheepwash Creek. Don't you worry about that. In he comes. It's long, it's high, it's straight, it's a goal. Never missed. We're right behind it. Back to a 1 point margin. They take the lead back here. Sandhurst, they go to 10-7-67 to 10-6-66. A 1 point margin. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, two goals to Sandhurst this quarter have both come from smart play from Lockie Tardrew. He got out of congestion then and just a nice little dinky kick that probably just went the required distance, and then Maxted went back and made no mistake.
He wouldn't comfortably back too many players in from there, but Kobe Maxted is one of those players he would. He's a terrific talent for the Dragons. Back in the middle we go. Stagg was taken in the tackle as he tried to emerge with it. Umpire crosses his arm. Sandhurst by a point. 15 minutes gone, third quarter. Looks like we might have the close one today, John.
Got a couple.
With what's going on at Castlemaine was relatively close last time I checked. We'll be looking forward to hearing a score update there as they work it forward. The Storm are going to get the ball out the back. It's going to be Sheehan who goes goalwards. That was Abe. It spills. Shishka was able to soccer it off the ground. And an instant response for the Storm. Shishka's now got 2 in the quarter, and they're back in front by 5 points. Gee, have we got a game on here? Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. It is a cracking game of footy. 11-6-72. Playing 10-7-67, Storm by 5 points.
Yes, and it's Storm that's taking control of the centre square in this quarter. Out of the 5 ball-ups, they've got 4 away. The only one they didn't get away, Sandhurst got a goal from. Each time they've got it into their forward 50, they've been able to score.
In answer to your question, Cam, all tied up at the Camp Reserve, 51 apiece. Upset brewing down at the Camp Reserve. If not, it's going to be a close one as Sandhurst will win it out of the middle through Hood. And he spots up Maxted, who took a mark, contested, strong, and this will be a quick response as well, Norm.
Yes, Maxted then, he held his ground. He just kept the forearms up and kept Ernst Ratcliffe out of the contest. And he'll go back and from just inside 50 have another shot at goal.
He's a bit closer than last time, but a little bit of a tighter angle. Slow and steady approach. Maxted. He kicks through the footy, he leans to the left, and he's not happy because it's a minor score. 1 off the hook there for the Storm. It now goes to 72 playing 67. Storm lead, 17 gone. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So the Storm bring the ball back into play. Jones sends it down the broadcast swing. Shishka. Mentioned at half-time he needed to have a big impact if the Storm were to win. He's kicked 2 this quarter. That's a fairly long way that he's ran there. And, well, the umpire called, it might have been against Charles, who ran an awfully long way. So free kick, Wharton. Waste no time, banging it up towards centre-half forward. Fergus Green was there. Couldn't take any clean possession. Spills to ground. No mark taken. No real clean possession, I should say. Storm will work their way out of defence. They've got a short pass on here, which will be Charles. Had to get down to ground level and pick it up cleanly. He did. Gave it off to Clossy. Clossy got an ordinary bounce. Coughlin went through. And a free kick against Coughlin. Not sure what that one was for.
He got the tackler high with the fend off.
So Clossy gets it. Wastes no time. Bangs it forward to Sheehan. Sheehan, mark was paid. Well, you thought they might have paid, but he can load them up. 70 from home. Inside forward 50 he goes. Shishka's off fair way back, but he's going to come late and take the contest. In fact, it's fallen into the hands of Mulquinny, who was just marked it on his chest. I don't think Ash Connick will be too happy with the fact that Mulquinny could mark that one the way he did then, Norm.
Oh, no, it was good work by Shishka then. He was just able to nudge his Sandhurst opponent out of the way and give Mulquinny easy look at a chest mark.
So this to open up a handy 10-point buffer if he can kick the goal as we approach red time in the third quarter, which is so often referred to as the premiership quarter, which the Storm are on top of at the moment. He'll come in from the paint of 50 when he releases goalwards, and he's just hung it to the left. Stays in for a minor score. 5-point margin, 10-8-68, playing 11-7-73. 19 minutes gone in the third quarter. Score sponsor is Don is good.
So Sandhurst, they're up against it. They've been asked a question here out at Tannery Lane. Wharton goes short, goes to Free, with the initial kick to him, to Tardrew. So they've worked from one back pocket to the other, laterally. Now they'll try to work it down the line through Connick, who received. Connick short pass, hits Nelly, slides into it and hits him on the chest. Defensive side of centre wing. The sun is shining brightly on the outer side. First time this afternoon. On the left, hits Stagg underneath the scoreboard. Stagg shields the sun from his eyes. Then he plays on. Stagg will go long. He'll go shallow inside forward 50. Ernst to push. Is he going to give it away?
Yes,
it is.
Yep.
Was there every day of the week. He just shoved Fergus Green and couldn't get any clearer than that, Norm.
No, it stood out. It was as clear as a bell. The umpire had a perfect view of it and made the right decision, and now Fergus Green will go back for a handful of goals.
Another example of being Fergus Green conscious from the opposition. He didn't need to do it.
Ernst has been pretty good today on him, though, I think.
Well, he has been since he moved on, and this would only be Fergus' second goal since he moved on to
We
him.
had 3 before Ernst went to him.
Pretty much directly in front, Fergus Green. The man on the mark, Ernst, who was the offending player in that bit of play, stands at around about 30. Fergus Green to the Sheepwash Creek and kicks a goal. That is his 5th, is it not, Cam? I reckon he's kicked 5 already.
Yep.
And it's back to a 1-point margin. They take the lead here. Sandhurst score. Sponsor is Don is good. The score is now Sandhurst 11-8-74. They lead the Storm 11-7-73. Pretty close to three-quarter time here. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
And for all their hard work during this quarter, getting the ball forward, getting the score on the board, it got the Strath Storm nowhere because the Dragons have been able to settle and they've been able to gain back the control of this game.
1-point lead to the Dragons. In the middle we go. It's just going to be thumped forward by Leicester. Shan come off half forward, picked it up. He quickly then wheels inside forward 50, goes inside. The first game has taken a great mark. And that is Jed Daniels. 45 from home. He has been pretty good, I'd say, for his first game. I reckon he'd be in with a shout to play again next week the way he's going today, Norm.
He has. He had his hand in 2 goals in the first quarter and a chance to kick one here.
For a little fella, he backs himself from 45 and he's missed by about 10 metres to the goals, to the left-hand forward pocket, and 10 metres short. Mark taken for the Dragons. Intercept. They'll clear it out. I think it's Lockie Wright down there.
It is Lockie Wright who go beyond 50, looks for Maxter, gets his hands on the footy, spills to the front of the pack. There's 70 from home. It'll be a free kick. It'll go to the Dragons. At the bottom of the pack, 1 for 2 high is Stagg. The good news for Sandhurst, they've still got Noah Walsh to come in, who's one of the better players in the league in my mind.
Wharton as well.
Yep, Skinny Wharton, but none more important than Walsh.
He's looking at me at the moment, so I had to mention that.
Wilkinson to right. Fair contingent of the Sandhurst boys right in front of the truck here. The truck sponsored by Bendigo Truck Centre, our broadcast position, as we've got another stoppage out of side. 1-point margin, Sandhurst lead, 22 and a half gone, third term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Leicester, all spills to ground. And we'll have a ball up. Just diving on top of that one.
Yes, neither side want to concede a late goal in this quarter, and the ball will be kept in play as much as possible.
Coughlin got it out to Tarju. Morris got the original handball out there. Is sent inside forward 50. Intercept mark will be taken by Cooper Jones. Jones will waste no time. It's a dangerous kick across goal, but Blandford was up to the occasion in the bright orange boots. He'll chip it short and find Carson James, who dropped the mark he should have taken. Ureta then got him in the tackle. He backed himself and Ureta said, nah, not today. And he got him plumb holding the ball. 70 out from goal. Left-hand forward pocket shooting towards the Sheepwash end creek of the ground. He'll wheel onto the right foot. He pulls the kick nicely, and that is a good mark. Not paid. I thought the Sandhurst player there had a lot of hands on that one. Not sure who it was there that claimed it, but the Storm will get away with it. Maxted was able to pounce on a slipping over player. Gave it back to Ureta. Tried to be a little bit too cute with the ball inside forward 50. And giving away a free kick will be Lockie Tarju. Might have taken a Strathfieldsaye player who didn't have possession of the ball. And that player is Paddy Blandford.
Blandford now in his defensive zone. Back pocket. He's directing traffic if he's going to kick it towards the broadcast side. Will he honour that? He does. He kicks it long and high to a contest. I don't like it. Wilson jumped high and jumped early. They might get a free kick here, the Storm, for
the
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Did you see it off the ball, Norm?
Yeah,
or-
it was. The Strathstorm player
Wilson's
tried
coming
to...
off holding a hand as well by the looks.
Free kick. Who was that?
Wilson's just coming off
Charles.
the ground.
Yeah, Charles tried to come in from the side and the Sandhurst player just stepped in his way and took his run towards the mark.
Goes backwards to Jones. Jones back further afield to Gill. The Storm still in their defensive zone. They've horseshoed in and out of their back half. Now they'll go up the other side wing. Ernst swoops on the footy. Then it's a short pass to half forward. Might call it just Radcliffe getting involved. Now it's a long kick inside forward 50. Here's their chance with Abe Sheen. Got caught by himself. He's got a player in the pocket. Why did he go there? He had Harvey.
Oh, that was a shocking kick.
And kicked it and turned it over. Norm, tell us what happened.
Lockie Tarju.
No, well, that was Sheehan. Should have had a shot at goal. Tried to kick the ball into the forward pocket to a leading player, and it went straight to the Sandhurst defender.
So in the process of Sandhurst clearing it out, a 50-metre penalty was paid. So Tarju will then kick it up towards the wing. They'll then send it down. Maxted comes up, flies, couldn't quite take the mark, but it spills off. Can wheel around, go inside forward 50. Good-looking ball inside forward 50. Finds its way onto the chest of Tananelli, who is about 45 out from goal. Slightly to the right-hand side of the goals. Sheepwash Creek end of the ground.
Gisborne have kicked away a little from Castlemaine. A 2-goal margin down at Camp Reserve, but positive signs from the camp, though, to be only that margin. And out at Golden Square, Wade Street at 68, playing 47. So South Bendigo are within reach, but they haven't really led all day, maybe in the first couple of minutes, Cam.
So a chance here for Nelly. The late inclusion goes for home. It's gone goalwards. He's put it through. Big goal for the Dragons. And they now increase their lead. It is 12-8-80, playing 11-7-73. The Strathfieldsaye Storm, the late inclusion, Tananelli coming in for Darcy Mills pre-game, who pulled up with a sore calf from training, is what I was told. Local footy lives at Fresh. Bendigo score sponsor JB Restumping.
Yes, that's a coach killer. Abe Sheehan, one end, could have gone back and done exactly what Nelly did then. Sandhurst good enough to take the ball forward and find Nelly in their forward 50 with a contested mark, and he made no mistake.
Well, the whole context of the game changes when you make a mistake like that, doesn't it? You've gone from having all the momentum. Let's see what they can do it here. They'll win it out of the middle, and there's a whistle on play. It'll be a free kick to the Storm. It's a cross half forward. Lockie Gill is with the footy. Now he goes. He'll go to the top of the square. Gordon's there. It'll go to the back. Good defensive work. I reckon it's a Mark Sandhurst. Lockie Wright's been good since he's been put back there, and he'll spread it to the outer side.
That he does. Cross he goes. It spills for Smith. Used his body well, then was able to recover. Far side of the ground, but he's hard up against the boundary. He's met in a pretty strong bump too. It was Smith and Blanford that got involved, and now it's a little bit going on the far side of the ground. It was a clean, but it was a clean hit.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Not at all.
Shoulder right on the boundary line.
Maryborough haven't scored a goal today, dare I say. 132-point margin. Maryborough at 0-1-1.
Clossey's got it on the far wing. He's able to then send it inside forward 50. It just falls short of its intended target. Bouncing around there. Trying to find a way through. Charles kept his body, then fed the handball off to James. James will go towards the top of the square.
Holding
it's a free
again.
kick played. It might be downfield, or is it a hold?
Holding in the marking contest.
Is it going to go?
Malik Gordon, I think you'll find.
Waiting to see who the umpire gives the footy to. But it's going to be a shot on goal, 25 out. Not much of an angle to deal with.
You're right, Norm.
No,
and it is Malik Gordon.
Yes, he was held. His arm was held in the marking contest, and the umpire picked it up, being on boundary side of the play.
Johnny mentioned in pre-game about what he brings, this young player. Hasn't kicked a goal today, but if he can go back and kick this one deep into the third term to make it a 1-point margin, almost. In fact, there's the three-quarter time siren. It must have heard me giving it a rev up. In he comes to make it a 1-point ball game at three-quarter time. Huge moment in the game. Malik Gordon, 25 out. Left-hand forward pocket. In he comes. And he has missed. Doesn't take his opportunity, but it is a 6-point margin. 11-8-74 the Storm. 12-8-80 the Dragons. It is just one goal the difference Close game of footy here in round 8 at Tannery Lane. The score sponsor today, JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So checking other scores, Castlemaine have stagnated now. Gisborne kicked away a little. It's a 3-goal margin down at Camp Reserve. 10-9-69 the Bulldogs. The Magpies 8-3-51. Eagle Hawk 21-7, 133 lead Maryborough, one solitary behind. And at Wade Street, Golden Square, 10-14-74. They lead the Bloods 7-5-47. And here at Tannery Lane, promises to be a fantastic last quarter. Don't go anywhere if you're sitting at home in the man cave out the back. Stoke up the fire and go and get yourself a nice cup of tea, because it is three-quarter time. 11-8-74, playing 12-8-80, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League, round 7, top 5. Coming in at number 1, Bradley Keogh from Castlemaine. This beautiful shot tucked against the boundary line over the shoulder. What a brilliant goal. Number 2 sees Zachary Greaves from Castlemaine take a huge fly. Got a nice little ride there too. And he was able to go back and slot it home for a goal. Coming in at number 3, it's Bryce Curnow from Sandhurst. Just leading by example here. Ball comes in, beats his opponent, then spins out of trouble and kicks that one over the shoulder. That's exactly what you want from your playing coach. Follow me, boys, he says. Coming in at number 4, it's the boys from Golden Square. This one starts off with Macy Eaton just taking off. A great run down the middle of the ground. Gets back the old 1-2, and he looks to pinpoint a target here. Here's Jaden Burke in the goal square. Misses the mark, but then he finishes off his work off the ground. What a great goal by Jaden. He managed 8 goals on the weekend. Coming in at number 5, it's James Shishka from Strathfieldsaye. Gets it in the top of the goal square. The old over-the-head kick. Gotta love that. That was 1 of 7 he got on the weekend.
Back here at Tannery Lane, round 8, and it is a cracking game of footy. 1 goal the difference. The Sandhurst Dragons 12-8-80 are being challenged what could be the first time this year they have really been challenged. The Storm 11-8, 74. Cracking game of footy. Goal kickers, Abe Sheehan 1, James Shishka kicked 2 in that quarter, 2 to Matt Harvey, 1 to Riley Wilson, Lockie Gill 2, Bode Stevens, Daniel Clossy and Carson James. For the Dragons, 5 goals to Fergus Green, singles to Maxted, Free, Tanner Nelly, Caleb Connick kicked the first of the day. Jake McLean, Oscar Perez, Bryce Kerno. Our Bendigo City Framers Matchday Sponsors Award will be handed out after our completion of the match to our best on ground. Run us through some of the players that will be in contention for that award for Strathfieldsaye, Norm Jenkins.
The likes of Matt Harvey's has had a good game so far. Lockie Gill been in everything. Cooper Jones has been relatively quiet in the first half, but had a very good third quarter. The 2 Sheehan boys also doing very well, and Benny Lester doing the ruck work today for Strath has had a reasonable day and got his hands on plenty of football, giving Strath the chance to attack first.
Well, let's see what gets underway here in this game here. An important contest in the perspective of how Sandhurst can respond. They're in front by a goal at the moment. The Storm have been super. 11-8-74. They trail Sandhurst 12-8-80. Where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. The final term, here's the powerhouse, Cam Power.
Umpire Johnny Norton holds the ball aloft. Ernst has gone into the ruck for the Storm and he wins it. Nes bangs it forward for the Storm. Island knocked it away from Shishka. Spills out to Gill. Gill couldn't quite take clean possession. It comes to, might be Wilson in there who's taken in the tackle. Umpire says we'll ball it up just inside forward 50. But that was a terrific start and might be throwing Ernst around, I reckon, to get himself into where the game needs to be won. That's right in the guts for the Storm. Spilling out, Dragons will clear. Connick, he just threw it out of there, literally to Eureka, who was taken in the tackle straight away. He's pinned, holding the ball. Free kick, Storm. Stevens will waste no time. Right ball, sends it right to the line. It's going to go right to the line, minus score. But it could be a handy point at the end of the game. 11-9-75, 5 points the margin, 12-8-80. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott. Builder, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, as has happened in the last 2 quarters, it's the Storm that's got the first attack forward, and they'll be looking to make the most of this forward entry and lock the ball in.
Tardrew of the Dragons will kick it in. He'll play on from fullback, runs his measure, then he'll bring it broadcast side. It's a long ball beyond 50. Connick and Maxted were his targets. Maxted tracked the footy, did well. Good strong tackling hard up against the boundary line.
High tackle.
High tackle. If I could see through the coach's box, I'll tell you who's got it. Blandford's got it. Now he goes long. He'll go to the top of the square. They'll set themselves Shishkas in the area. Good crack. Matty Wilkinson at the back of the pack for the Dragons.
For $1,000 they'd want to be see-through, Johnny, and they're not. So Dragons will bring the ball back into play. Connick will fly, no mark taken, spills down. Maxted thought he was taken high. Umpire John Norton agrees. Yep. And he gets up, he just shrugs off the man on the mark and plays on. Wheels the kick down the line in the direction of Palprat. Here's the back, chance for Sheen to recover for the Storm. He'll chip into the middle of the ground and find Harvey. Harvey goes short and finds Bode Stevens. Stevens, he just rushed it a little bit, which allowed Palprat to come through. Got it to Eureka, thought about handballing it, then managed to factor it a kick to Hood. He was taken in the tackle. That was Blandford. Appeals for holding the ball all around the place. Blandford got it, gave it off to Harvey. Then Harvey gets it back. High ball down the line they go. Maxted playing in front, strong defensive mark. In front of Charlie King. And Maxted will be able to clear. True centre wing position, broadcast side here at Tannery Lane.
Long ball. It's a low, long ball. Looks for Hood. Front position. Good contested mark in front of Blandford of the Storm. He's 70 from home. Hood's been good this afternoon too. He goes into the pocket. He goes towards Green. Green takes a good, strong contested mark over Featherby. Also Ratcliffe. Short pass over the top. He's got a player lurking in Tardrew, who will line them up on a 45-degree angle. He's floated down forward, and he's only 20 metres out from goal, Norm.
Yes, good work by Tardrew again there. Experience shown. He just drifted into the hole and wasn't seen by any Strath backman, and made it an easy target for Fergus Green to hit up.
No upset at the camp reserve. Gisborne are kicking away. It's now 75 playing 57, but spirited effort by the Magpies down there by the looks of it. As Tardrew kicks a goal, just snuck it in. I thought he might have glanced the post, and he didn't. And that is a nice kick. It goes to 13-8-86 to 11-9-75. Sandhurst lead. Score sponsor, JB Re-Stumping. You're looking at my score, whether you're doubting it, Cam. You reckon that's right or wrong? Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Norm, geez, Tardru, you mentioned him at three-quarter time. He's been good.
He has been good, and once again he showed there a little bit of experience. He just drifted into the forward line, dropped into the hole, and Fergus Green was good enough to hit him up.
No doubt in my mind on that one, John. Ball up in the middle. Ernst has gone into the ruck. Couldn't win it down. Wilson tried to go through for Storm. He was taken, but got it back to Ernst. Ernst can accelerate away. He'll send a right ball inside. Sandhurst playing in front of defence, but it spills to the back. No one able to take them, wheeling around back onto the right foot. Flying shot, going to go goalwards. It's come from Bodie Stevens, and he's just missed. Minor score. 13-8-86, playing 11-10-76. 10-point margin in favour of the Dragons. 5 minutes gone in the final term. Score sponsor is JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
No upset at Wade Street either. The Bulldogs out to a 30-point margin over the Bloods. As the kick in come from free, it was a long
grab
to Tardru. Beautiful grab. Handball to Smith. Into the middle to Paul Pratt. They're running now. McLean. McLean gets his foot to the ball and he goes inside forward 50, but turnover. And he kicked it straight down the throat of the opposition in Ratcliffe.
So Ratcliffe, he'll waste no time going wide for the Storm. They'll look to clear down the far wing. They've got a player out loose on that far wing. There's a little bit of push and shove off the ball, and I think the umpire spotted it, has he?
Yes, it looks like it, taking 50 metres.
I only just caught it at the bottom of my view, and it's a free kick. Well, has it not been paid?
No.
I'm not sure what's happened there, but Ratcliffe's eventually got it back where he started. Chips across the ground to Jones.
Yeah, I don't think the umpire didn't allow Ratcliffe to play on for some reason.
I thought it was a downfield free kick, so shouldn't have it gone to where the infringement was. But either way, Matt Harvey's got it. He played on, and not sure what's happened here, but Tanner Nally. Did I miss something there, John?
No, well, I'm just wondering the same.
Tananelli put Harvey off, and the ball went out in the full, so he wanted to let him know.
Well, I couldn't see actually Brennan Bounds on the full in front of that box. You said it's a bit of a nuisance spot, that little broadcast.
So Tanner just wanted to let Harvey know that he put the ball out in the full.
So Maxted's got it. He'll send it high inside forward 50, and I think there's been another whistle. And it's going to go the way of the Dragons, and it's going to be Fergus Green. And 50, it might have been a little bit of lip as well. Paddy Blanford looks a little bit guilty, I reckon, Norm. Maybe he might have just told the umpire he didn't quite think it was a free kick. I'm not sure, but Green runs in unopposed and slots his 6. And as Joel Peterson says, 6 is a bag. So he's got a bag. 6 goals for Fergus Green. And that is a handy 16-point lead now. 14 goals, 8.92. Playing the Storm 11-10-76. And the Dragons just flexing their muscle a bit. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, and 6 goals now for Fergus Green. Norm, he might be in contention for that Bendigo City Framers Best on Ground award, thanks to Bendigo City Framers, our sponsor.
Yes, and it was another poor decision exiting the forward 50 by Strath, then kicking across the face of goal and not hitting a target, giving Sandhurst an easy chance.
Ernst doing the ruck work now at the Storm into the middle. They need to win it because it's just becoming a little bit unmanageable. Too high. Storm get a free kick. Talking about unmanageable camp reserve. 30-point margin now, the Bulldogs against the Magpies. So that one's done and dusted, you would think, as the ball goes inside forward 50 for the Storm. It's been a mark plucked out of the middle of the pack. And I reckon it might be Stevens, Bode Stevens, that's taken a clunker. 3 deep, it is. And he'll line them up. And if they're going to win this game, Norm, he needs to slot it.
Yeah, needs to get back to within that 10-point, that 2-goal margin.
Stevens.
We've only played 7 minutes in this last quarter, so there's plenty of time.
Yeah, just a momentum thing and confidence thing as well. Stevens, Goldwood, kicks it. They're still in it here at Tannery Lane. It's down to 10 points now. It goes to 12-10-82 to 13-8-86. 8 minutes gone. Final term score. Sponsor, JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, as you said, John, Storm needed this one just to arrest back a bit of the momentum, and now this next centre break is crucial. Who will win the centre break? Who will get it out? Because the side that's been winning the centre break has been putting the score on the board to start this last quarter. Only 8 minutes in, so you would say there's probably 20 minutes of this game of football left, and what an end it's going to be.
Plenty of footy left ahead of us. Ernst went up early. It was Connick in there as one forward by Matt Harvey. Sent towards an half forward. Mark's taken. It was handballed off to the runner, the short player, new player to the Storm. Couldn't quite take clean possession there.
Yes, the handball actually went to Cooper Jones first, and he was under pressure, so he then handballed it on to young Daniels, and Daniels got collared. Luckily, only a ball up.
Thanks, Norm, as Cooper Jones will battle inside forward 50. Waiting for the umpire to ball the ball back up inside forward 50. Ernst try to take it out of the ruck. Sandhurst will clear, but they should be able to recover the Storm. Going back unopposed here will be Blandford. Gets it, then wangs a high ball inside forward 50. No mark will be taken. Spills off hands. Free. Spills to ground. Dragons clearing the kick out. Works at Coughlin. He was clean on the bounce. Gave it to Connick. And Connick will wheel the handball over the top looking for Stagg. It came back to Coughlin. Then Coughlin gave it to Hood. Hood can then wheel it forward now. Now they're away, the Dragons. They can run it inside forward 50. It's going to be with Perez. Perez will send it inside forward 50. Leaning out, trying to take it on his chest is Green, and he's gone over the fence. He cartwheeled over the fence, did Fergus Green.
He popped up like a puppet over the other side.
He'll wheel himself back onto the ground. He put himself out to brace, and over he went.
Oh, that was funny. I'm glad he's okay. Geez, it was like one of those comedy skits. He just went over and his legs, he just disappeared.
Green back on the ground. Boundary throw in inside forward pocket. Dragons' next goal you think would be a huge change in this one. Max Zed fired out the handball. Came to Wharton. Back to Coughlin, who's been busy in the last few moments. Stagg, short pass. Finds Oscar Perez. Perez is 50 out from goal. Hard up against the boundary line. He will chip it inside. Fergus Green will come out. Oh, no Mark Pakin. And the Storm might be able to recover this one. It's a panic handball into the hands of Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe gave it over the top. That was with Gill, who's been good for the Storm, bouncing off hands. It'll be sent inside forward 50 from Morris. Ratcliffe back, couldn't take the mark, spills the ground. Desperate stakes, desperate measures going on now for both these sides. We'll have a ball up inside forward 50. See if you can get us out of this little bit of congestion here, John.
It's very dark here at Tannery Lane. It's a 10-point margin. Storm trail. They've been super competitive against the premier side in the competition for season 2024 so far, as it will be a free kick to the Storm. Matt Harvey, he's been pretty good for the Storm this afternoon. Poor kick on that occasion. He's coughed it right up. Kicks it to Matty Wilkinson. Turnover. Dragons. He coughs it up. He kicks it straight to the opposition. So a couple of errors there. Ryan Harmer was the man with the footy who kicked it. And a free kick to Charlie King, who copped one high on left half back of the Storm. You go to Gordon. Gordon tries a one-hander. It was a good bit of work by Matty Wilkinson defensively. Handball to a running Sheen. Abe Sheen.
And a free kick to Malik Gordon for in the back.
Gordon.
Taking the ground after the ball went.
He's 70 from home. Too far out. Sheepwash Creek and he's kicking to. Needs to hit the scoreboard here. The Storm. He'll go into the pocket. Shishka. He spotted him up. It was a lead into the pocket and hit him on the chest. And Shishka will probably have to go around the corner, Norm, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, I would say that Shishka will be confident enough to have a direct set shot at goal. No, he's going to go around the corner.
No, that's the way of the world nowadays, Norm, and he misses. Misses poorly. They need it. It's down to 9 points now. 83 playing 92. We've gone 12 and a half. Final term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, they've wasted opportunities to start this last quarter as they did to start the third quarter, and they could come back to haunt them at the end of the day.
Dragons will bring the ball back into play. They'll come down the broadcast side wing. Oh, the kick though. Shishka was able to turn it over. Then he'll go looking for goal. In fact, he's passed it off. And the mark's been taken inside forward 50 by Zach Charles. A calamity of errors by the Dragons, and it's going to result in Zach Charles to bring it back to what would be a very manageable margin of 5 points if he kicks the goal, Norm.
Yes, once this time it was Sandhurst. Poor attempt to exit their forward 50 and have given Strath an easy shot at goal.
30 metres out, not too much of an angle. Zach Charles comes in, goes goalwards, puts it through. The crowd will tell you. And the Strathfieldsaye Storm get it back to a very manageable 5 points. 13-11-89, playing 14-8-92. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
And that's a well-deserved goal for Zach Charles for all the work he's done today. In that second quarter, he was the one that led up and promoted himself for the Strath Storm to kick to. He becomes their 9th goal kicker of the day. And as I said pre-game, sides that have been able to get 8, 9, 10 goal kickers go on to win games. So we'll see what happens.
Strong's food. It's actually a 3-point margin, John.
Yeah, I was wondering how your maths was going there, Cam, but that's all right. Don't worry. We get the drift. It's under a goal anyway as Riley Wilson sends it forward. Swooping on it will be Harvey. Harvey will go goalward, but it's wayward. Doesn't score. Out of bounds on the full. Good build-up.
Yes, he had more time than he thought there. There can't have been any talk in that forward line because he could have settled and gone around the corner.
3-point margin still. Storm trail, 14.5 gone. Final term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, and Gisborne kicked right away against Castlemaine at Camp Reserve. 93 now, playing 57, which is probably expected, one would imagine.
So Ruff's kick down the line will be turned over. It'll be marked by Jed Daniels, the first gamer. Will wheel inside and look to send it to the hot spot. No mark taken. In fact,
Ruff.
Yeah.
Ruff was able to claim enough of a mark, and he'll chip it short to Lockie Wright. It's been good since he moved back, Johnny.
Yeah, as I've liked his game. You're right, but he went right. How many times am I going to say right before I'm wrong? As Wright goes to Hood. Hood short pass, forward. Finds right. 2 rights. Make it right. Now let's see what he does with it. Defensive arc of 50, right up against the boundary line. He's going to kick it 50 back to go into its defensive goal square and hit up Ruff. Ruff now to Ireland. The horseshoe in and out again. We've seen it today successfully. Oliver Morris, short pass forward. Wharton takes a mark. He's got Sexton on, ignores him, who breaks to the wing.
The Strath boys have done well here. They clogged up Sandhurst's attack.
Alex Wharton invited to play on. Umpire blew his whistle and said, you're taking too long. Now they go and they set themselves. Good strong mark taken by Jones of the Storm on left half back.
So Jones in the long sleeve will chip the ball into the middle.
Oh, don't let it bounce.
It's a dangerous pass, and Charles did just that, but he got lucky, got taken when he didn't have possession of the ball by Tarju. Charles will then wheel across the ground for the Storm. Got it off to Lester. Then Lester handballed off to Sheehan. Sheehan will then send it forward. Trying to bustle away through for the Storm was Carson James. It spills out. Now they manage to find a short pass, which finds its way into the hands of Shishka. Hard up against the boundary line is James Shishka. Every bit of 48, 50 metres from goal.
He couldn't, could he?
Well, he's taken the mouth guard out straight away and put it in the sock. So he's going to back himself. The crowd will erupt if he kicks this one.
Not the crowd in front of us because they're all dragons.
So Shishka's got 2. From hard up against the boundary. He sends it right to the goal line. It's going to the near side for a minor score. 2-point margin. And we start to hit these desperate times. 13-12-90, playing 14-8-92. 17 minutes played in the final quarter. Still plenty of football to be played. But it's a 2-point margin. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Right from the kick in. Short pass forward. Ireland. Ireland spreads it wide to the outer back pocket. McLean takes a mark, then short passes at the ankles of Smith. Did okay. The old 1-2 back there to McLean. McLean will send it long. It goes to the outer side wing, and it's a turnover. It'll be Jones again. Jones will go long, swirls the ball between his hands, and it's a long left footer. It goes into the pocket, deep in the forward zone. Ernst got his hands on the football, tried to claim a push or a mark or whatever, and got none of it. And we'll have a stoppage, ball up, 2-point margin, Storm trail. 18 minutes have now ticked over in this final term.
Darkening skies here at Tannery Lane. Game right on the line. Ernst tried to take it out of the ruck, couldn't quite take possession. Clossy barreled through, fired it towards the boundary, and Sandhurst will rush it through for a minor score. 1 point the margin now, I should say. It might be a risky play to try and bang that one through for a minor score, but it is 14-8-92, 13-13-91, 1 point ball game. Free will bring the ball back into play for the Dragons.
Yeah, Storm have done well to set the wall up and keep the ball in their forward line for the majority of this quarter.
I've been super impressed with the defensive play from the Storm in this half. Can they get themselves in front in the game? Mark will be taken nicely by Lockie Wright. He was in the contest. He'll tip it short and find Connick. Connick can go down the line. Oh, they need a talk here. Coughlin did well. He took the mark. He then played on. Handballed off to Nally. Nally on the right. Will send it inside forward 50. Green's got to go up against Ratcliffe, and Green did just that and took the mark. And this would be a big blow if he can go back and slot this one. He's already got 6. He's 25 metres out. Not too much of an angle to deal with. Right hand forward pocket. Johnny's already written it in the book. Fergus Green. Oh, I think the crowd in front of us will tell you how this one goes. They've all gathered right in front of us. A mass pack of Dragons supporters watching on as Fergus Green will go back for number 7 to make it a 7-point lead. 25 out. In he comes. Well, there it is. It swings back nicely. Johnny had already written it in the book, so I can read it out. 15-8-98, the Storm. 13-11-91, 7-point margin. 20 minutes gone in the final quarter. That's a big goal in this contest, Norm. Score sponsor is Donna's Good, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yes, all started with Lockie Wright taking a strong mark over a Strath opponent, and then it was good work from James Coughlin and Tanner Nally, who were able to share handballs up this wing here, and then a lovely kick from Nally to find Fergus Green.
Back in the middle, Lester won it in the ruck and then won his own ball and kicked it up the chimney. Spills to the broadcast side wing. Still contested footy ground level. Who's going to emerge with it? Who wants it most? It'll be on this occasion Tardrew, who's been good. He goes inside forward 50. Nally was the target. Green is lurking, 35 from home. Stoppage, ball up. 7-point margin. Ticked over the 20-minute mark, 20 and a half minutes. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, and we've got the close one here, Cam.
Still plenty left in this one. Haven't said that for a while this year, John. Storm will clear the ball out. Gordon took the mark. Quickly handballed off to the run. Flying through will be Daniels. Look at the young blonde locks fly. But he kicks it straight down the throat of Liam Ireland. Shishka was out in front, couldn't quite take it. Ireland read it nicely. Will then clear the kick to the far wing where he'll find a teammate. And it might be Harrison Free on that far side of the ground.
Jake McLean goes long. Inside forward 50. Offhand. Stagg will swoop on it. Got knocked over. Upended. Nally offers support. They're trying to keep it in. Stagg, a slinging tackle on Featherby. Just need to be a little bit careful as we'll have a stoppage and a ball up. It's inside forward 50. Sandhurst attack. Fergus Green looking dangerous up forward. McLean overran the footy for the Dragons. It'll be another stoppage, 50 out from home. 7-point margin, 91 playing 98, 21 and a half minutes. Final term. Dragons lead this one after a valiant effort by the Storm. It's just starting to slip away, Cam.
Still a bit to left to go in this one, yeah.
As if this runs like the last 2 quarters, there's still 8 or 9 minutes to go, but I think we might be a little bit shorter than that.
Ball up. Maxted won it down, but it'll be Gill who gives it off to Clossy. Clossy then feeds off the handball to a teammate who bangs it in the middle of the ground, but the Dragons are set up nicely. It's rough in the middle. Got it off. Gave it off. McLean. Chip ball short. Finds the teammate. Inside forward 50. Oscar Perez will go back to seal the deal, you would imagine, if he slots this one. But how does he find himself in that much space this deep into the game, John?
Well, he found himself in that much space because Strath had control of the ball until a lunging effort by a Sandhurst player to break it free. Isaac Ruff then a lovely spin out of the pack without getting tackled for the ball to go forward.
So Perez, 35 out, directly in front, on the right. Puts it through. And the Sandhurst Dragons have answered some big questions today. They've been challenged, but you think they're going to run out with the win now. And I mentioned it last week, first team to 100. 16-8-104, playing the Storm 13-11-91. Norm, score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
Yes, it's been a good steadier by the Sandhurst side in the last 10 minutes. It looked as though Storm had all the momentum. They kept the ball in their forward line for the first 15 minutes of that quarter. But now that Sandhurst have been able to get it out, they've been able to score 2 quick goals.
Back in the middle, See if Storm can win this one. Sad side out at Canterbury Park. Maryborough still haven't kicked a goal all day. It's 188 points. But here...
It's not their biggest loss this year, though.
No, it's not. But it was Perez who won it out of the middle for the Dragons. Mark's been taken beautifully by Tananelli. He had front position, and they're going to kick away a little bit here because he shouldn't miss this. He's pretty much directly in front, Norm, 35 out.
Yes, Tanner just judged that better than his Strath opponent. He followed the flight of the ball. He was able to step back and take a mark on his own as the Strath player got lost forward.
A little bit of unlikely forward, really, Tananelli. You don't see him here play a lot, but...
That's where he's been most of the day, though, up forward.
He has. It's been a good response from the Dragons, but they've been really good this Storm as Tananelli kicks a goal and extends the lead. It's his second, so that takes it to 17-8, 110. 13-11-91 the Storm. We've only got 5 or 6 minutes remaining in this final term score. Sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. And they're lining up now for the Bendigo City Framers Sponsored Award, Norm, because they're playing very well up forward, Sandhurst.
They are, and that's 5 straight for the last quarter compared with 2-5. So Strath certainly had their chances. They could have been a couple of goals up, but wasn't to be.
No, there was a few chances across the day where it's been like that, I reckon, Norm, especially in that third quarter. Storm had plenty of chances. The green sign goes up in front of us here with the big Sandhurst logo on it. Any ideas what that might mean? Oh, that's red on one side, sorry. So I'm guessing red means stop and green means go.
No, yeah, red means just hold the ball.
Who would have thought red means stop and green means go?
No, it's control the balls, all that.
I'm just guessing it. I could be wrong, but we'll work the ball into the middle here. Storm will try and fight this one out, but it has been an impressive last few minutes for the Dragons. Hood taken in a strong hit. Came out to Eureka, couldn't quite get it. Clossy went through for the Storm. Ball spills out, Wharton, handball smothered. Eureka then got it again, ball up. Plenty of instructions being shouted from the Sandhurst bench in front of us as the ball goes up again. Sexton won it down. Spills wide. Hood then got it. Gave it off to a handball. They'll run it inside forward 50 from McLean. Green's got it. Green picks up cleanly. Does he want to wheel around and shoot for goal? No, he decides to be nice and selfish and pass the ball off to Oliver Morris. He wouldn't have kicked too many goals in his career for Sandhurst, Oliver Morris.
It's probably third game, I think. He might have even played under 18s, I reckon, all year. Up until playing for the Pioneers, though, Cam.
Terrific player.
Not much of him.
No, but he's been at it all day. He puts himself in good positions, and he's shown that he's a reasonably good overhead mark.
I love the fact that Fergus Green didn't try and snap back, and you'd find some players that try and look to snap, but it just shows the culture around here at Sandhurst as they want everyone to be involved. Morris will come in, 40 metres out. He goes goalwards. It's going to go right to the line. In fact, it's kept in play by the Storm, and they'll rush it for a boundary throw in. 27 minutes gone now in the final quarter. 91 playing 110. JB re-stumping, score sponsor. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Umpire will throw it in right in front of the club rooms here to the Tannery Street end. Sandhurst in attack. Tardrew does the ruck work on this occasion. It will be the Storm that emerges. Daniels getting his hands on the footy. Oh, good strong tackle. Tananelli, he hasn't given up in that forward zone.
Beginning to think he's a crowd favourite, Tananelli.
He nailed Clossy when Clossy received the handball from Daniels and now line them up at goal.
Yes, and that's his second time that he's upset Clossy today, and the last time he let him know, and this time he just went back, took the ball, and I'll let you know about your goal over your head.
He stands at 50. Tananelli. Tight angle. In he comes. He walks in. Slow, deliberate, on the right foot, and it just swerved. He's kicked it.
It went through.
Oh, dear me. It was a bit of an ugly copter ball, Norman. It spun and it swung, but it got the final result. So Tananelli on the board again. Is that his third?
Yep.
3 goals here to an unlikely forward. It's 18-8, 116 to 13-11-91. Score sponsor is Don is Good. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's six straight in the last quarter for Sandhurst. An excellent effort compared with 2-5 for Strathstorm. So that's the tale of the story here. The Sandhurst boys were able to take the challenge and meet it.
Ernst got it, just banged it 20 metres high, but barely to 15 metres forward. But mark will be paid to Jake McLean. McLean will then chip short. Find a teammate on the far wing for the Dragons, which is free. He's also been good. He might be in contention for this Bendigo City Framers Best on Ground award today. A few options floating through it. Ferg Green's kicked 7, so he'll be there as well, you would imagine. Up to John Hunter, who has the final say. But the game is all said and done here at Strathfieldsaye. And the Strathfieldsaye Storm have gone down, but they wouldn't have lost any admirers today. 13-13-91. It blew out in the last few moments. The Sandhurst Dragons, 18-8, 116. A terrific win for the Dragons. Score sponsor, JB Reese stumping. Bendigo City Framers also our score sponsor today. Jason Westcott Builder. Is Don is Good, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, we'll excuse you from your duties now, Cam, because you will be going down to get the club song. And we've got an award to give out. Our sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, Match Day Award, $100, a voucher for this game. Who are you going to give it to?
I think Fergus Green, 7 goals, was very prominent in the forward line. He had pretty good 4-quarter performance, goals in each quarter today, so I'd be looking at him.
Who are you going for, Norm?
Well,
maybe Lockie Tarju. But I'm going to stick with Green. I love the goal kickers.
The times that the Strath were on the attack and Tardrew was able to get the ball and change momentum, I liked the way Lockie went about it. Yes, Fergus did get 7 goals. He wasn't cited in the third quarter though. He got 3 in the first and 2 in the second, 2 in the last, and he went quiet for a quarter. Whereas I thought Lockie Tardrew was a 4-quarter player today, and he just shows the skill and the experience that he's got as he every time he gets the football.
I agree with you 100%, Norm, when you say Tardrew. And it's got nothing to do with the fact we gave it to Tardrew a couple of weeks ago. But I'm going to lean, because it's my prerogative, I'm going to lean towards Fergus Green. I'm going to base that on, he did a couple of acts as well that I really impressed that Cam pointed out, where he brought, and I know it's his job, but to bring young players into the game. And you kick 7. It was there to be won in that last part. He stands up and takes some big marks. So apologies to Lockie Tardrew. No apologies to you, Norm, but you're on the money with your assessment of what it is, and probably did sway me a little bit that we'd already given it to Lockie Tardrew. So let's go with Fergus Green. We'll try to get Fergus Green up in the box to accept his sponsorship award, Bendigo City Framers. That is $100, as Cam is going to go down.